Tuesday afternoon, breezy and mild with some sun. The nicest day of the week with the high of 58. Tonight it'll be partly cloudy, quite chilly, the low down to 31. Then as we head into Wednesday, cooler with increasing clouds, a little rain late in the afternoon. That high 46 going to make for a damp, raw, and chilly feel to the day. Then Thursday, it'll be breezy with a mix of clouds and sun. That high 43 going to feel like it's well down in the 30s at best at times with the northwest winds at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Then Friday, cloudy with a snow shower around. Could be a period of steadier snow at night, leading to slow and slick travel. The high 34 during the day. Now Saturday, variably cloudy and breezy with flurries possible. That high of 30 is going to feel like teens and 20s with that north-northwest wind at 10 to 20 miles an hour throughout the day. Sunday, very cold, a little less windy, but the coldest it's been so far with the high only 22. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Wall Street, the Dow down 367 points, the NASDAQ's down 92. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hi, Joel Johnson here with Johnson Brunetti. Hey, retirement income. Are you sure that you're maximizing your retirement income? Get the retirement income checklist from us, absolutely free. Text the word checklist to 1-800-705-1232. Again, call or text the word checklist to 1-800-705-1232. A checklist to maximize your retirement income.
Investment advisory services offered through JB Capital, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance products offered through JN Financial, LLC.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You know, as they say,
1 minute.
personal information is another person's treasure.
Exactly. That's why I use NordVPN every time I surf the web. Features like Threat Protection Pro's safeguard devices from phishing websites and disable intrusive ads and trackers. Just check NordVPN.com, grab the deal, and see for yourself. NordVPN. Cybersecurity built for every day.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying,
And 10.
Somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is Reese on the radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
We pushed all our rebels out of this party. We had a rebellion in our party in 2016. It was called Bernie Sanders. You had a rebellion in your party in 2016. It was called Donald Trump. Your rebel won, our rebel lost. And then since then, the rebels in our party have been pushed out. RFK was a rebel inside of our party. He wanted to run against Joe Biden fair and square. The DNC wouldn't let him. Pushed him out. You can walk down the list. Don't forget, Elon Musk was a Andrew Yang Democrat 4 years ago. He's out. You can walk down the list. Joe Rogan was very favorable toward Michelle Obama. He was a Bernie guy. He's out. So there's something that's happened in this party where the rebels in this party no longer feel like they have a place, and we've got to be able to talk about that stuff honestly. I love Joe Biden. Joe Biden picked me out of the puppy pile and gave me a chance to be to work with you guys. I love him. He should have walked away and let other people in this party step up to the bat. He didn't, and we paid the price.
Yeah!
What's going on, all you scallywags and nutmakers out there? It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC on this December the 17th, 2024. I've got so much stuff to get into, folks, and let me warn you. I might not be able to get to as many phones today. I am loaded for bear. There's just so much that's going on. Here we are 8 days from Christmas. You would think that the news would die down, but there's a bunch of stuff going on that we need to address. I will get to your phone calls. If you wait, I'm apologizing ahead of time. But if you want to get in, you may just have to. So I'm going to start off with something a little light. I promised that I would make my opening monologue about Mayor Eric Adams, but I've also got to add in my label mate. And I say my label mate, he and I both work for the same company, Odyssey, Stephen A. Smith. He said something the other day that a lot of people are talking about. Last night, Patrick Bet-David was on Jesse Waters talking about the audio clip I'm about to play. They didn't play the audio clip. They were just talking about it. Mayor Eric Adams made some news yesterday talking about the shooter Luigi and the killing of Brian Thompson. But I noticed something in that. That was the reason why I played the top of the hour clip of Van Jones of CNN talking about how they are getting, or there are people who are part of the Democrat Party who are being kicked out. What he's failing to mention there, Van Jones, is some people are just outright leaving. But the question is why? You see, I don't believe in this nonsense that somebody woke up and had a change of heart. That somebody woke up and said, oh, you know, I don't want to be a part of the Democrat Party anymore. No, 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 no. My label mate, Stephen A. Smith, I have a theory about Eric Adams and Stephen A. Smith. But let me run through the audio first. I want to run through the audio first because this is important. Let's play it. First, we'll play Eric Adams. Here's Eric Adams yesterday talking about something he's mentioned before. You remember at Columbia University, all the radical kids were screaming about long live the infantata, whatever it is they were saying, I don't know. But it was very anti-Semitic. Eric Adams was talking about the radicalization of our children. And he says it's growing. And Eric Adams is more and more starting to sound like a conservative. Many people now are saying, oh, he just sounds like that because he wants to get a pardon. But Eric Adams was sounding like this before he ever got indicted with the migrant crisis and how it was overrunning his city and the violence that was ensuing thereafter. Eric Adams.
Think about the shooter. Ivy League, grew up in an affluent household. His manifesto clearly is showing some signs of hating. Our children are being radicalized. I said this over and over again. And everybody's like, you know, what are you talking about, Eric? You know, our children are being radicalized to hate the America, to hate the country that put them where they are. This person had all that one wants to have, but he hated everything to the point of shooting someone. And we better deal with the radicalization of our young people. And, you know, people could, you know, they could complain that I'm saying it, but I'm seeing it. I'm seeing our bench is hating the team. And we better start acknowledging and focusing on that. And so having dance parties, celebrating the death of someone, I don't support that.
He said, our bench is hating the team. Woo! The bench is hating the team. And I find it very interesting that people would root for a guy like Luigi anyway. Technically, to these people, he should be the enemy. He's rich. He's wealthy. What do you mean you couldn't get seen by the healthcare provider? Should have been able to pay for that out of pocket, homie. What's going on? Here's Stephen A. Smith. He's talking about the January 6th committee, what we thought about January 6th.
And now here we are yet again finding even more evidence to Donald Trump's claims when he articulated that the process is rigged. My big issue is that I'm really, really sick and tired of every time I turn around finding something else that the Democrats have lied about or downplayed or misrepresented along the way. I mean, I see Republicans like Megyn Kelly or Officer Tatum or Candace Owens or, you know, the Sean Hannitys of the world. You know what I'm getting tired of? You know what I'm getting, to the Democratic Party, you know what I'm getting really pissed off about? I'm getting really ticked off at every time they open their mouth about something pertaining to y'all, they seem right.
Stephen A. Smith, sounding like he's changing his stripes. Many people would think that. The answer is no, that's not true. No, 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 no. And nothing against him. This is not me railing against Eric Adams or Stephen A. Smith. I get it. I totally understand. I know what it's like to be on the winning side. I know what it's like. I've been winning. I've been on the winning side for the longest. I've been on the right side of history for the longest. Here's what Stephen A. Smith is recognizing, and here is what Eric Adams is recognizing, is that financially, morally, hell, politically, the days of the Democrats standing on these ideas that they were morally superior than everyone, that they were smarter than everyone, that they were the intellectual elites, they're over. They're over. Some people will never get out of their own way. They've got no choice. I'll talk about that guy in a minute. That scum. But Stephen A. is making a strategic move. That's all. Eric Adams is making a strategic move. It is impossible for you to stay viable in any of the industries in these United States, any of them, and remain standing up for the ridiculousness that is leftism in this country. You cannot. It's gone so insane, you look dumber and dumber protecting it. Stephen A. Smith knows that. Eric Adams understands that. It has not been beneficial for those two men and many others to continue to lobby and to protect the ideas of the left. Stephen A. Smith can't say to his audience anymore that a man can get pregnant. He just can't. He knows how silly that is. He's got a mother. He's got sisters. He's got women in his lives. He just can't. He can't fathom that. A man can get pregnant? No. No one can take him seriously. The writing is on the wall. The left has gotten so radical. Oh, and the worst part is that it's gotten so radical that if he doesn't agree with him, they'll destroy him, or at least seek to. So now, in some ways, you kind of have to change your tune strategically. That's what Eric Adams is doing. He can't possibly stay the mayor of New York and allow migrants and illegals to run amok in his city where people are being killed, threatened, sex trafficked, labor trafficked, and think that the left is going to protect him. Or his leftist ideas are going to protect him. Strategically, he's got to wake up and do the right thing. The beauty of it is that eventually for these guys, this will no longer be strategic. They'll actually see the fruits of their labor, of investigating, thinking before they speak. Stop having a knee-jerk reaction to everything. Become critical thinkers. Perhaps they won't become Republicans. Maybe, if we're lucky, they'll just become Americans. Maybe They'll just think about what's good for everyone instead of relating everything through the eyes of race or gender, sexual orientation. Maybe Stephen A. Smith and Eric Adams will talk about and engage in things that are clearly much more beneficial to the people. They contribute to a world in a better way by not seeing things from these points of view. Hell, I know I'll never agree with Stephen A. Smith wholeheartedly. I know he's a liberal. I mean, he's from Hollis, Queens. He was raised in the same neighborhood I was raised in. Most of the people in my neighborhood are just like Stephen A. Smith. They're coming around, but most of them are just like him. Grew up in the same circumstances, came to believe the same things that everybody else in Hollis, Queens believed. I was the outlier. I understand that. I love that, but I understand that. It's nice not to be a part of the herd. But I get the strategic nature. If you want to compete in this business, the guys on the left are realizing that people are leaving them in droves. You don't think Stephen A. Smith watched all these liberal commentators online are starting to lose their subscriptions by the thousands? You don't think he saw MSNBC and CNN lose their viewership, see it go down 47, 52%? Yes, he did. And I know Stephen A. is smart. Stephen A. turned that First Take thing into a juggernaut. That's all anybody talked about. That's his work. He understands it. And that's why we're seeing the change of heart, or change of tune, if you will. And I applaud him for it. I applaud him and Eric Adams for it. So I just wanted to get that out there so that everybody heard it. And Stephen A., again, he's a member, he's a label mate, as we like to say. That's what they say in the record business. But he's part of Odyssey's family. But I think what he's doing is smart. But I'm glad he's at least being thoughtful. He doesn't sound phony. He sounds legitimate. He sounds like he's honestly looking at this stuff now and going, wow, my eyes are open. I'm very happy about that. I'll take Jim in a second, but I want to say this. When we come back, I heard at the top of the hour that there is still no motive in the Wisconsin shooting. That is not true. There is a motive. I have a transcript, I have a manifesto, and I have the words written by the young lady who has been identified as a 15-year-old female. She is not transgender. She is a feminist. And she's also a racist. What she says about blacks and what she says about women who get with blacks, we'll break that down. So, we'll get into all of that, so stick around. We got like I said, we got a lot of stuff to get into. We may not get into a lot of phone calls, but I hope you'll still call in if you can. But I got that. And at 4 o'clock, 4:05, the stupidest thing today involves our very own Chris Murphy. I'm sure you heard he's in the news, and he's getting ripped apart. I even called his office, D.C. and Hartford. We got no answer, and we got no call back. But what he did on Sunday, Chris Murphy, you may have kicked the hornet's nest on this one. Let's go to Jim in Wellington. How you doing, Jim?
I got to tell you, Reese, I don't know. I got to think about what you're saying here. You know, how much credit am I supposed to give Stephen A. Smith or Bill Maher or a host of other ones?
I told everybody, let me stop you at the Bill Maher thing. Never suggest that Bill Maher is changing his stripes. Bill Maher is a dedicated leftist. He may play that role on TV, but if you listen to him talk to any other conservative, you realize that stuff is just for TV. Bill Maher, not a guy who's coming across the aisle at all.
Okay, so let's forget Bill Maher. Let's just stick with Stephen A. Smith.
Okay.
And once again, how much credit am I supposed to give him? Listen, I've seen Stephen A. Smith across media platforms, for a couple of years now. And I understand the point you're trying to make and where you say he's changing his position. But, I didn't hear a lot of Stephen A. Smith screaming and hollering at MSNBC or CNN for the last 3 or 4 years.
No,
when they were trashing when they were trashing America. I'm not talking about Trump now. I'm talking
Oh, no,
about
I know.
American citizens.
I know.
All right, I didn't hear him. Supposedly I'm supposed to believe now a guy who I believe is an intelligent guy who's got his thumb on the pulse of quite a bit that's going on, sat there in pretty much silence. And,
Well,
and again,
here's
you
where
can go after
Jim.
somebody
Here's where it was. Let me tell you where it was. And again, he said most of that clip. I only played a small portion of it, but most of the clip, you hear his frustration. That's the reason why Stephen A. Smith is coming out and saying this stuff.
Sir.
Is that he's?
I don't agree.
I know. I hear
don't
you.
agree.
But he's coming out and saying that everything that he was led to believe, he was saying that Donald Trump was lying. Donald Trump wasn't telling the truth. The mainstream news media and Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, they were the ones telling the truth. And now as more and more evidence is coming out and he's starting to have conversations with people outside of his peer group and his bubble, he's starting to realize, because again, that's what Stephen A. Smith's biggest issue was that he didn't get outside the bubble. Now he is.
Can I interrupt you?
Yeah, of course.
He's way too smart to listen to other people tell him things that he's now pulling away from. And like I said, where was he? You tell me he was in this bubble and he relied on these people, etc. Some of the people he relied on said the most heinous things, and I'm talking about American citizens there. I'm not talking about Donald Trump or some other politician or some other policy. And I consider the guy, Stephen A. Smith, a smart guy.
But
he was no different.
Jim, let me ask you this. Jim, are you under the impression I'm asking you to forgive Stephen A. Smith?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
I'm not putting this on you.
Okay.
What I'm saying is I'm tired of the mea culpa from some of these people on the left who I respect because they have legitimate opinions about differences of policy or differences about Trump. I get it. But when you stood by for years, and let all these people, some of these people that you say are your sources, that you say are inside your silo, trash American citizens for going to school board meetings, trash American citizens for choosing somebody else to vote for, trash American citizens for a host of other things, COVID policy.
Yeah, I got you.
And
He's got to do. I'll tell you this, Jim, because I got to go. I got to go to the top. I got to go to a break. But let me tell you this. I get your point, Jim. And that is, it's going to take a lot more for Stephen A. Smith to get into your good graces, and he should. I think he's got a lot of work to do. But for me, I'm just giving him credit for understanding strategically. It's not productive for him to stand for the things on the left anymore because everything he used to believe is being completely destroyed. That's the point I'm putting up.
Can I throw a short thing in?
Real quick.
Short thing. I gave Stephen A. Smith then and now credit for being bigger than he is right now.
Right.
In other words, I say Trumpian in the fact that fight it. He didn't fight it early enough. Now, I hope he sticks to what he's saying now. I hope he sticks to it.
I do, too. And like I said, I hope that this is really more than just strategic, and this actually becomes a way of life for him. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate you, sir. You got it. Let's take a break. We'll come back. More news, more views. We'll get to your phone calls. If you want to, call up now. I want to hear your view on this because our guest is coming up. We got Adam Pack from the Daily Caller News Foundation, and you don't want to miss it. So let's take a break. We'll be back. It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Why stay up late? Get your news early with Fox 61 News at 10, or watch anytime on demand with Fox 61 Plus.
Breaking news from your community and weather updates to help you plan ahead. Watch live or on your schedule on Fox 61 Plus. Stay informed anywhere, anytime.
Fox 61, Connecticut's news station. Streaming live or on demand on Fox 61 Plus.
I'm at Big Y, and my son calls to tell me tomorrow's the holiday cookie swap. Then I see the baker putting out these fresh cookies, and she says, 2 dozen of these. Wrap them individually. Done. Nice.
Here's to happy holidays and tasty traditions. Big Y, nicely done.
Start your day with all the latest sports information. Matt Soroyce has updates from the Cordell and Cordell Sports Desk at 15 and 45 past every hour. Only on WTIC News Talk 1080.
It's officially the merry season, and Light 100.5 WRCH is your home for holiday music. Spinning the biggest and best festive tracks all day long, now through Christmas Day. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Get your your holiday fix on the radio at 100.5 FM. Ask your smart speaker to play Light 100.5 WRCH. Or listen on the go with the free Odyssey app.
And now, a WTIC news update.
3:30. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Late word this afternoon that Luigi Mangione will be charged with murder in the shooting death of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. DA Alvin Bragg about to hold a news conference. Connecticut's 7 electors gathered at the Capitol today for a brief ceremony to cast their ballots for president and vice president. This takes place, of course, in all 50 states and the District of Columbia. Largely ceremonial gatherings. Donald Trump, of course, won the Electoral College vote 312 to 226 for Vice President Harris. Harris did win all 7 of the state's electors, and those votes will then be certified in Washington on December 6th. Investigators in Wisconsin trying to determine a motive in that school shooting that left a teacher and a student dead and 2 other children in critical condition. Police Chief Sean Barnes says it appears to be a combination of factors, and he's urging anyone who knew the 15-year-old shooter's feelings to reach out. She took her own life. Senior Russian general was killed by a bomb hidden in a scooter outside his apartment building in Moscow today. Ukrainian official says service carried out the attack today that killed Lieutenant General Igor Kirilov, as well as an assistant. WTIC News Time, 3:31. Here's the forecaster, meteorologist Jason Caterina.
For the rest of our Tuesday afternoon, breezy and mild with some sun. The nicest day of the week, the high of 58. Partly cloudy and cold tonight, the low down to 31. While it'll be cooler for Wednesday with increasing clouds. Little rain as we head through the afternoon, the high of 46, so damp, raw, and chilly. Then Thursday, breezy with clouds and sun. High only 43, but it's going to feel like it's well down in the 30s at best with those northwest winds at 10 to 20 miles an hour throughout the day. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
All right, still on the mild side out there. 56 in Hartford. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large. Because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to save.
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
Call 800-745-3070. That's 800-745-3070.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Hi, it's Tom Shattuck. I want you to picture yourself in the summer of 2025. After you've lost weight on Awaken 180 Weight Loss, you're svelte, looking good, feeling good. It's your year. Your spirits are high and you're bursting with energy. You can't wait to show off the thinner you around the pool or at the beach. You're hiking, even jogging, trying all the new things that were once off limits to you because of your weight. Your incredible 2025 starts right now. Talk to Awaken 180 now. Have your consultation this December, and you decide to start now or be ready to go day one of the new year. Imagine losing 8 pounds in week 1 like I did, or more. Imagine conservatively 20 pounds a month, bye-bye, gone. In just a handful of months, that's down 100 pounds. But it all starts by making that consultation right now. Call Awaken 180 Weight Loss now at 844-346-1800. 844-346-1800. Let's win 2025 today. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Here's another great reason.
1 minute.
It's Postal Service this season. Your boxes are wrapped and the gifts are in. Our employees are ready. Let the holiday ride begin. Let's start with the price. It's easy to manage when you ship with the reliable USPS Ground Advantage. In just a few days, it's sure to arrive. We're working non-stop to keep the spirit alive. USPS Ground Advantage, the affordable and reliable shipping solution for the holidays. Visit USPS.com/advantage.
Isn't it time you thought about an estate plan for your family? Estate planning attorneys help prioritize and carry out personalized asset protection strategies. The law firm of Brown, Payne, Dearest & Scott has served the legal needs of individuals and their small businesses since 1977. Our experienced estate planning team is ready to help. With Brown, Payne, Dearest & Scott, you get more than a lawyer, you get a law firm. Call us at 860-CALL-BPS or visit bpslawyers.com. Nancy Tanucci approved this ad.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is.
You know who it is. It's Reese on the radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
And we're back. Reese on the radio. Let's get to my friend Tony in Southington. How we doing, Tony?
Hey, great, buddy. How's it going?
All right, sir. What you got for me?
All right, let me start with this. You're my man, and you're the legend.
Thank you. What did I miss?
Yeah. Yeah, no. What I do like is I like the people that may assume that it might be liberal but are not, like Sylvester Stallone,
right,
Shaquille O'Neal, and a bunch of other celebrities. They support President Trump.
Yeah.
Shaquille O'Neal's got something out there where he kicked George Clooney out of his restaurant because he's a radical lunatic liberal.
Really?
And, if you look it up, Shaquille O'Neal kicked George Clooney out of one of his popular restaurants because he's a radical liberal.
Wow.
Like, dude, what I live on is truth and sincerity. I'm white, you're black, you're a human being, I'm a human being. I love you, and like, dude, we're talking about reality. We don't need to be having this kind of drama, dude. I'm 51 years old. During the 80s and 90s, we loved black Americans. Dude, I buy all the rap music. It's just upsetting to me. Dude, no, seriously.
No, I hear you. I hear you.
Stop, dude.
No, I
love
hear you.
Sports and everything. It's ridiculous. It's a fear-mongering agenda by the Democrats as a whole that has to stop because it's not factual.
I think what's happening here.
here.
Let me say this, Tony. Here's what I believe is happening. And look, some of the reasoning behind this switch, if you will, by a lot of individuals is twofold. And I'll explain to you why it is. And you should be hopeful. Don't despair, because seeing somebody like an Eric Adams or a Van Jones pointing out the fact that they are rejecting some of their pioneers or some of their rebels, as it were, one, we're noticing that that's happening. That's always a good thing. Like, people are finally leaving that plantation and joining at least an independent thought sort of sphere, right? Not that they're becoming all of a sudden all the way to the right Republicans. They're at least investigating or at least interested in being curious. But here's one thing that's stopping it. And if there's a concern, here's where this concern should be. If you listen to Van Jones in that opening clip, and I'll play it again, there's one thing that Van Jones fails to mention, even for that matter, Chris Murphy, when he talks about how the Democrats need to become more of a populist. The one thing that neither of those gentlemen, who are both on the left and both Democrats, they won't say is that they were wrong they won't say that they were wrong about anything. Now, if they were to turn around and say, just like Bud Light, if they were to say they were wrong that men can become pregnant or that men should be in women's bathrooms, if they were to say we were wrong about that, that would be a capitulation, if you will. But they won't. They cannot, because here's why. Because Van Jones and Chris Murphy, although they're trying to appear that they're not radical, they're scared to death of the radicals in their party. So, again, Stephen A. Smith is making sort of this pilgrimage to say, okay, I need to investigate this stuff more. But if I were to ever talk to Stephen A. Smith, I would go, okay, really? So answer the question, should boys play in girls' sports? Answer the question, should men be in women's locker room? He's got to answer that, and he's got to be able to do it fearlessly. That's what I'm saying. He's got to do it fearlessly and say, no, I think that's wrong. And understand that, look, if the left goes off on him, he's safe and secure in knowing that people will support him because he's telling the truth, objective truth. They won't give him hell, and we'd protect him as one of those people who got out of the muck and mire that is the left, what do you call it? What did Elon call it? The mind virus that is the left.
Yes, correct. Right, because it's literally a mental illness. I don't care what somebody's sexuality and private life is.
Yeah.
If they're cool with me, I can accept them as a friend, but don't shove your agenda down my throat.
Yeah,
you know
the old saying,
dude.
Your rights end where mine begin. That's
exactly. I treat human beings. Listen, Reese, I treat human beings as individuals. Like, it doesn't matter to me what color the skin, what gender, what your faith is, your creed, religion. Dude, if you're good to me, I'm good to you. If you make sense and be real and not like be radical, that's a separation between right and wrong.
Listen to me. I think we're on our way there, and I think that today there may be some nut jobs still out there, but we're on the right path. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate you, sir. Fred's in Middletown. How you doing, sir?
Hey, good. I got a quick shot here. So Stephen A. Smith, or Sass, and Chris Cuomo, who became a conservative, and Eric Adams. There's an old saying, I don't have it at all, but something about you don't give a dog with no teeth credit for not biting. And I would have more respect for these people if they went down with the ship, They're just such whores.
You see, you are look, I viewed it the same way, Fred. And was that what was the change of tune? Now, Stephen A. Smith is going above and beyond to say every day that he's getting whatever the orthodox was, he's getting that challenged every day to new information. This particular audio clip that I played, this had to do with January 6th. When they found out that there were 23, I think it was a little more than 23 people who engaged in illegal activity on September 11th. On January 6th, where they kept saying that it was a dangerous conspiracy theory. So Stephen A. was like a lot of people saying January 6th was worse than 9/11, and then getting that sort of debunked in real time. So now he's going, that's the reason why he released his video, says, I'm getting sick and tired of being embarrassed by my conservative friends, where it turns out that they seem to be more right than you are.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust him.
I know. Hey, listen, I'm not, again, I am not suggesting anybody should trust him. There's a reason why I use the word strategic. That's the reason why I said it.
You were saying you were hoping it's not, but it probably is.
Yeah, I know. Again, and that's what I'm saying. I'm listening. I'm looking at this from a percentage that says, listen, Stephen A. Smith is in the business, right? The business that I'm in, right? If you are sitting on the left and you are defending everything that is causing people to leave you in droves, would you continue to do it, or would you find a strategic way to come somewhere towards the middle?
Yeah. These sports talkers can all just take a hike too, man. Talk about useless.
Mike Lupica is one of those guys. I don't even want to get into him, but thank you, Fred. I appreciate you.
Phil Mushnick is one good sports guy. Thank you. Bye-bye.
You got it. Phil Mushnick, yes. Wow, I remember him. New York Post. He used to get in a lot of hot water. I love Phil Mushnick. Speaking of, let me say this before I get to the next phone call. It's an interesting point about, I read this book called Cocoa Puff. I'll find the name of it. It's a really, really good book. And as everybody knows here, I'm not much of a reader, but if I pick up a book and I enjoy it, I tell you about it. And I'm going to find the name in the book. Chuck is his first name. I can't remember his last name. It was something called Cocoa Puffs and something. Rama, if you're in the chat room and you can remember the guy, his name is Chuck something, and the book was called Cocoa Puff, Drugs, and Some Nonsense. But there were a bunch of essays in the book. And one of the essays he wrote was talking about sports writers. It's just one quip. It's probably about 2 or 3 paragraphs. But what he said about sports writers was that sports writers hate writing about sports. They really want to write about politics. And when I read that book, the first person I thought of was Mike Lupica. Because he went from being one of the foremost sports columnists to all of a sudden start writing opinion pieces in the Daily News, I think it was. Every day he was writing about politics. And I went, why has Lupica got a politics essay in the Daily News? And sure enough, I started seeing that with everybody. Started talking more and more about politics. They all want to be politics writers. And here's Stephen A. Smith, coming tenfold, going a guy who went from sports, talking about basketball, football, and everything else under the sun. Now he's talking about politics. Speaking of Rama, he's in the chat room. He said, I applaud Eric Adams for putting the current administration on blast. Methinks he ultimately wants a pardon from Trump. Stephen A. will at least turn independent. I agree with you there. Commentary says, dude, I thought that Tony was going to say, I eat fried chicken too. Tony's a loving guy. Give him some props. Dan S. says, I remember a few years back when Stephen A. Smith said that just one time all black people should vote Republican. I do. I remember that audio. I watched that video. He said that they should all vote Republican and send a message to the Democrat Party that they do not own the black vote. I remember that very well. Let's go to my good friend Matt in Bristol. How you doing, buddy?
Hello, Mr. Hopkins. How you doing?
I'm all right, sir. What's up?
So you didn't refer to Van Jones as the crying brother. I'm not going to say the middle word.
Oh, crying Negro brother?
You can say it, I can't.
Hey, listen, when you write a check to the United Negro College Fund, do you not put the word Negro in it?
Well, I'm broke. I don't write a check to anyone, so I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
All right. Well, okay. Yes. So, are you upset that I did not refer to him with his proper moniker or his proper name?
Yes. Yeah. I'm kind of a little hurt, but that's all right.
All right. I'll remember it next time.
But I can refer to his co-host as the white jumping bean. I will.
Chris Saliza?
Yeah, whoever's interviewing him, he jumped out of his seat and he was shaking his head left and right, and it was just a whole mess.
Is that you're talking about the guy that's wears glasses and it looks like he ties his sweater around his neck?
Yeah, the guy that when he was interviewing Van Jones, when Van Jones was saying Trump is smarter than all of us.
Oh yeah, that was Chris Saliza. Yeah, that's Chris Saliza.
Okay, the white jumping bean. That's what I call it.
Yeah, Chris Saliza. And it's funny because Chris Saliza is a hardcore leftist. Hardcore. But the fact that I watched that interview too, the way in which he had to concede, so many things. Here's the interesting part about all that. So many things let down these pundits, like Mark Halperin was let down. in such a way. Van Jones was let down. Chris Cillizza. The reason why these guys were let down was because they followed this idea that Kamala Harris was, again, the second coming of Barack Obama. But not that they believed it, is that they know that it was shoved down their throat to repeat to everybody. And they care they don't care about the Democrat Party as much as they care about their own reputations, because their own reputations are the reason why they get to be on all of these shows, across the country. The reason why they get to be on these panels, the reason why they get speaking engagements is because they're supposed to be the foremost. They're supposed to be the wizards of smart, as Rush like to call them. And now they don't look so smart. That's all.
Well, you know what I noticed about that video?
What's that?
Is when Van Jones was talking to that guy, I don't know if you saw the video.
I did.
But when he's agreeing with Van Jones, if you see his head movement, he's shaking his head no and agreeing.
Yes. Yeah, because he hates it.
Did you notice that?
Yes. Yes, because Chris Cillizza hates the fact that this is true, and he also hates the fact that Van is saying it for his audience to hear. That Donald Trump is the smartest politician. This guy is the king of the world. Chris Cillizza would never, the fact that Van Jones would say that on his platform for his audience to hear, he knows the backlash he's about to get. That's why he's shaking his head, because he doesn't want his audience to know I agree with him. But he does. He has no choice. Because, again, Donald Trump did exactly what Van Jones said. He not just won the popular vote, but he also won the seat. He got the Senate. He got Congress. He got it all. And there's no denying it. Calling him stupid is yeah.
And did it after being out for 4 years.
Exactly. Out for 4 years and maligned for at least 7 of them.
For 8 years. Yeah.
Gotta go. All right. Gotta take a break. I got to take a break. Thank you, Matt. We'll come back. More news, more views, and we'll preview our conversation with Adam Pack of the Daily Caller News Foundation when we return. It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Men, it's the holidays, a time of love and joy. But if you suffer from a function, the season can be tough on you. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And if you and your partner are struggling because of ED, change it up this year. Give the best gift you can give to the one you love by treating your ED and restoring your relationship. At Northeast Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. And as a Promedic restorative health practice, we've literally seen thousands of relationships renewed across the nation. Plus, with treatments having success rates well over 90%, coupled with many treatment options, we can likely find the right one for you. You may even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So call us and give your partner the best gift you can give this season, a renewed, restored relationship. Your first visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promedic restorative health practice.
Join us this Sunday for Tumulo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father and son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch the replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumulo Financial Retirement Planning with Integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Don Cussin here, wishing you all a happy holiday season. Cussin Automotive has been servicing our customers for 29 years. I'm thankful for your loyalty and trust in all we do. I'm also thankful for the Cussinells, a.k.a. technicians with over 200 years of combined experience. Whatever car or sleigh you may be driving, Cussin Auto handles everything from oil changes to engine replacements. We want you safe and on time when you head over to River and through the woods to Grandma's house. From the Cussin Auto family to yours, have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Let's do the holidays right.
Cussin Automotive.
We all hear the radio. IRS, they tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Can't get to a WTIC holiday store? Donate from your phone. Text WTIC to 31333.
Make sure you text them. It's Reese on the radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. When we get back at the top of the hour, I'm going to, of course, tell you the stupidest thing I read today is about none other than Senator Chris Murphy. Now, I know, folks, I promise you over and over again, I don't want to be a one-trick pony. I don't want to be the guy who comes on the air every day and beats up on one guy. Okay, but this guy can't get out of his own way. He just can't. And with him vying for some prominent position within the Democrat Party and just sticking his foot in his mouth over and over again, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, so on Sunday, Chris Murphy released a video on his X account. And, of course, this is something he's going to do every week. He may rethink it after this week because the Washington Examiner and the Daily Caller are now going after him on this particular subject, and that is with the healthcare industry. And he released a video after all the backlash that Elizabeth Warren, Senator of Massachusetts, and Bernie Sanders, Senator of New Hampshire, have gotten so far for saying violence is wrong, but Chris Murphy has joined the fray. And this video that he put out astonishes me because, again, as I said, this guy does not read the room. He's just not bright. He isn't. I want you to hear this guy out of his own mouth. This is him talking about the assassination of Brian Thompson, CEO of U.S. Healthcare.
Listen, I think that political leaders in this country need to be part of this conversation that's happening all over the country in the wake of the shooting of the United Healthcare CEO. I know that it's fraught. I know that it's uncomfortable, but this is really important. Listen, I'm never going to condone violence. I don't here. I spent my entire life fighting gun violence because I know that the devastation is enormous that it leaves behind. What I see happening in this country, though, is a real visceral anger that the outrage at Brian Thompson's death or the outrage at the death of any powerful person isn't matched by the anger over the thousands of people who die often anonymous deaths every single day in this country.
So now, Chris Murphy is saying that. We'll play the rest of it when we return. Let's get our first check of the traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you and good afternoon, everyone. Well, if you're heading into downtown Hartford right now, this traffic report is being brought to you by Goodwill, thanking Connecticut residents for their continued support. And 91 southbound, you'll see some slow traffic from exit 38 down by right around exit 35 in Windsor, and again from 34 down to 32A and B. Another bump down by exit 28. More delays again from 19 to 17 in Meriden. Northbound side of 91 running a little slow up by exit between 20 and 21 as you move Middletown into Cromwell. After that, good ride Hartford up into Windsor. Westbound 84 tied up 56 Governor Street to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound tied up about a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 2 westbound is slowing 8 to 5D in Glastonbury, and again from exit 4 to the 84 west merge in East Hartford. 291 eastbound is a little tight getting over the Bissell Bridge. If you're heading into Middletown, right now we're seeing delays 9 northbound from Harbor Park up to the Irrigoti Bridge. We do have an accident or some police activity now. 9 southbound between exit 29 and 27. The right lane reportedly shut down there. And also seeing some activity now as you move northbound on Route 9. You're going to see some slow traffic as you move between exit 32 and 34 in New Britain. Westbound side of 84 slowing in Cheshire, 691 interchange up to 26. Again, by exit 25 up to exit 23 on the westbound side of 84. 84 eastbound locked up 3 to 5 in Danbury. Again, 84 eastbound slowing 8 out to 9 in Newtown. Westbound 84 slows 11 to exit 7 in Danbury. Southbound Parkway, look for delays 61 down into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 southbound slow traffic 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
This holiday season, consider the goodwill you can spread by donating your gently used clothing and household items at your nearest Goodwill. Your donations directly support our free career centers around Connecticut. Share your goodwill and donate today.
WTIC weather.
Breezy and mild for our Tuesday afternoon with some sunshine, the nicest day of the week, the high up to 58. Partly cloudy and cold tonight, the low down to 31. For Wednesday, it'll be cooler with increasing clouds. We'll get a little rain late in the afternoon, the high of 46, but damp, raw, and chilly feeling. Thursday, breezy with clouds and sun. That high 43 is going to feel like it's well down in the 30s at times with those northwest winds at 10 to 20 miles an hour. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is 99 and throwing a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
4 o'clock, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. The New York District Attorney has formally announced charges in the shooting death of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson this month.
Luigi Mangione, the defendant, is charged with 1 count of murder in the first degree and 2 counts of murder in the second degree, including 1 count of murder in the second degree as an act of terrorism.
DA Alvin Bragg, Mangione, an Ivy League grad who comes from a prominent family, could get life in prison if convicted. He remains jailed in Pennsylvania on unrelated charges, awaiting extradition back to New York. Wisconsin police held a news conference on the school shooting there Monday. Correspondent Matt Piper.
Madison Police Chief Sean Barnes offered no details about a possible motive, but he says bullying at Abundant Life Christian School would be investigated.
We're talking to students to understand whether bullying was one of those multiple factors.
But he would not go into detail about possible other factors. Besides the 2 deaths, 6 others were wounded, including 2 students who remain in critical condition. Police say it was a second-grade teacher, not a student, as was initially reported, who called 911 during the shooting. Matt Piper, CBS News.
Police in West Haven have released the name of the person killed in an early morning crash on Monday that left 2 others, including a police officer, injured. Panjala Niraj Good was 23, a passenger in a vehicle that wound up striking a police cruiser that was parked at a gas station parking lot on Derby Avenue early Monday. The driver of that Hyundai Elantra is believed to still be hospitalized. The officer has since been released from the hospital. Police say the civilian vehicle was likely traveling at a high rate of speed when it skidded sideways on a slippery surface. Israeli officials say they're getting closer to a ceasefire with Hamas.
Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas travels to Cairo Wednesday to meet the leaders of Egypt and Qatar, who have been mediating talks between Israel and Hamas. While everyone involved agrees there has been progress, some Israeli media said a deal is still weeks away and there are still several points of disagreement. The Palestinian Authority is expected to play a major role in running Gaza after any ceasefire.
That's CBS's Linda Gradstein in Jerusalem. Back here, Vernon police have arrested a man in connection with a crash that killed a pedestrian in June. Details from WTIC's Morgan Cunningham.
Under arrest is 34-year-old Stephen Lewis of Manchester. He's being charged with second-degree assault, misconduct with a motor vehicle, distracted driving, and failure to exercise reasonable care when near a vulnerable user in a public way. Lewis was driving a 2004 Toyota Sienna when the crash happened back on June 12th. 2 pedestrians were walking in the area of Warren Avenue near the Vernon Rails to Trails crossing. Police say one of those pedestrians hit 81-year-old Anna Kraszewski of Tolland, later died at Hartford Hospital. Lewis is being held on a $75,000 bond. Morgan Cunningham, WTIC 1080 News.
And it's a largely ceremonial procedure, and the outcome's already known. But in Connecticut and states across the country today, members of the Electoral College are formally casting votes for president and vice president. All 7 of Connecticut's electors cast ballots for Kamala Harris for president and Tim Walz for VP. Secretary of the State Stephanie Thomas.
Today we gather to carry out an essential step in the democratic process
formally casting our state's votes for the President and Vice President of the United States.
So those votes will then be counted and certified on January 6th in Washington, with Harris in her role as President of the Senate presiding, giving Donald Trump 312 electoral votes to Harris's 226. The closing bell report sponsored by Bouvier Insurance. Down day for the markets. Dow dropping 267 points. NASDAQ down 64. S&P down 23 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
1 minute. Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large, because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to say
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
Call 800-745-3070. That's 800-745-3070.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
Do I look that stupid? Yes, you do.
Stupidest thing I read today is at reeseontheradio.com. That is REESE on the radio.com. Go there to read the story that I'm going to talk to our next guest about. Adam Pack is a writer for the Daily Caller News Foundation. And if you are just joining us, Chris Murphy put out a video on Sunday talking about the death of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Here's what he had to say.
Listen, I think that political leaders in this country need to be part of this conversation that's happening all over the country in the wake of the shooting of the United Healthcare CEO. I know that it's fraught. I know that it's uncomfortable, but this is really important. Listen, I'm never going to condone violence. I don't here. I spent my entire life fighting gun violence because I know that the devastation is enormous that it leaves behind. What I see happening in this country, though, is a real visceral anger that the outrage at Brian Thompson's death or the outrage at the death of any powerful person isn't matched by the anger over the thousands of people who die often anonymous deaths every single day in this country.
But little does Chris not think that we would know is that while he is making this video about how healthcare providers are hurting people, Chris Murphy is taking hundreds of thousands of dollars from people in the same industry. We'll talk to Adam Pack of the Daily Caller News Foundation and what he was able to uncover about Chris Murphy. Now let's get another check of the traffic with Mark Christopher from the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to everyone. If you're heading into downtown Hartford right now and you're on the southbound side of I-91, look for slow traffic now as you come down from exit 36 down to 35 A and B, and again from 34 down to 32 A and B. Another bump down by exit 28. More slow traffic as you move by exit 21 in Cromwell. And another bump as you move down into Meriden, 19 to 17. Northbound side 91 moving very well. Rocky Hill through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 tied up 56 Governor Street up to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound slowing about a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 291 eastbound slowing I-91 over to the Bissell Bridge. 2 westbound tied up from 8 to 5D in Glastonbury, and again from exit 4 to the 84 West merge in East Hartford. Cromwell 9 southbound. We have the right lane out between exits 29 and 27 because of an accident reported there. Looks like delays are back to 29A behind that, so once again you want to stay to the left to get through there a little bit easier. If you are heading into Waterbury, 84 westbound, some slow traffic 25A up to 25 again. Westbound 84 slows 18 to 17 in Waterbury. 84 eastbound in Danbury tight 3 to 5. More slow traffic as you move from exit 8 in Danbury out to 9. Westbound 84, some sluggish stop-and-go traffic from 11 in Newtown down to exit 8 in Danbury. Southbound Parkway delays 61 down to 60. 95 southbound, you've got slow traffic 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, it's been a pleasant day. Temperatures are still in the mid-50s around the region, and as we head through tonight, it'll be partly cloudy and cooler, the low down to 33. Then cooler takes hold as we head through the rest of the week with increasing clouds on Wednesday. We'll get a little rain late in the afternoon. Could snare up the evening commute a bit, the high of 48. The rain ends after midnight. Then Thursday, breezy with a mix of clouds and sun, the high down to 43, but we'll feel like the 30s with the gusty northwest winds throughout the day. Friday, cloudy, a snow shower around. Could be a period of steadier snow at night, and that could lead to some slippery travel after dark. The high of 34 during the day on Friday. Saturday, variably cloudy, breezy, some flurries, the high of 30, but gusty north-northwest winds going to make it feel like it's in the teens and 20s. On Sunday, very cold, plenty of sunshine, still breezy. The high of 22 will feel like the teens for sure throughout the day, so bundle up if you're going to be out and about. Right now, Danbury 55, 54 in Waterbury, Bristol at 54, and Hartford 55. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Count on STIHL for Christmas cleanup made easy with the SEA 20 battery-powered handheld vacuum. Now just $99.99. Visit your local STIHL dealer today or shop online at stihlusa.com. Valid offer for a limited time, only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking. Guaranteed. Early bird special, $49.99. Seminars Thursday, January 9th, Hilton Garden Inn, Hartford, South Glastonbury. In Glastonbury. Weight loss seminar, 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar, 8 p.m. Or Saturday, January 11th, Holiday Inn Express, Southington. Weight loss seminar, 11 a.m. Stop smoking seminar, 2 p.m.
Reba is back, live in concert. See Reba performing all the hits for one night only, live at Mohegan Sun Arena, Friday, March 28th. Get tickets this Friday at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com.
This is Eric Hummel. This holiday season, remember to pick up delicious Hummel Cocktail Franks, a great addition to any celebration. Made with the same great recipe as our world-famous hot dogs, only in bite-sized portion. Hummel Cocktail Franks will surely be a hit, whether you make them into pigs in a blanket or heat them and serve them with a barbecue or mustard dipping sauce. And remember, all Hummel products are gluten-free and always represent the very best in quality. I'm Eric Hummel, and I personally guarantee it. Look for Hummel Original Recipe or new Hummel All-Beef Cocktail Franks in the meat department of your local supermarket.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS.
1 minute.
To be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us on TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Stay locked in. Reese on the radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, we're back. It's Reese on the radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. As I mentioned, the stupidest thing I read today was that Chris Murphy was running around talking about how the healthcare system doesn't give a ish. He actually curses in the video. Doesn't give a ish about people. Says that they're more concerned about their profits. But Adam Pack, our guest and writer for the Daily Caller News Foundation, found out that there's a little bit of a conflict of interest with Chris Murphy's statements on his X video that aired this Sunday. Adam Pack joins the show. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you being here.
Hey, Reese, how are you? Thanks for having me on.
My pleasure, sir. So here we have Chris Murphy talking about how Brian Thompson's death, sounding very much like Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, saying that, violence is wrong, but they can't seem to avoid the but in making these claims about how it's more important to talk about the healthcare industry and the anonymous deaths of these thousands, if not millions of people, in some way justifying the death of Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare. But you found out through open records, I guess open records information, that Chris Murphy is double dealing in all of this, sort of playing a moral high ground, but taking money from people who are in the very industry he's condemning.
That is absolutely the case, Reese. So we looked at Open Secrets, this campaign finance watchdog that tracks campaign donations to all political candidates. And Senator Murphy has been the beneficiary of more than $730,000 in campaign contributions from the health sector over the last 6 years, and then $1.7 million from the insurance industry, which also includes the finance and real estate industries in that tabulation. So a lot of money that he is taking in from these industries. And if you dig a little deeper, my reporting also found that at least $100,000 of these campaign contributions is coming straight from the health insurance companies that Christopher Murphy is criticizing in that X video that he posted on Sunday, basically accusing these health insurance companies, also hospital systems, of being indifferent to human life, only caring about profits. And that's something that we asked them when I was doing my reporting. Are these entities that are contributing to your campaign, are these the types of organizations that you are talking about and not giving an ish about human life?
And he did not respond. I know you called him. I called his office today, called the D.C. office, which apparently no one's working. I wonder if they're out on medical leave. And I called his Hartford office, where I did get someone on the phone, but couldn't seem to get anyone on there. An interesting thing in your story says, and I'll read this line from it, United Health Group's PAC doled out $6,000 to Murphy's campaign in 2018, $2,500 in 2016. And according to a Daily Caller News Foundation a review of Open Secrets data, Murphy's campaign appeared to return $2,500 to United Health Group's PAC during the 2020 cycle. We don't know why he returned that money. Or did the check bounce, or what was the deal? Do we not know?
Right. So I think maybe an explanation for that, which is that's something I would love to ask Senator Murphy's office if they would respond. But we do know that Senator Murphy has sworn off corporate PAC contributions following his decision to run for a third term, which he won in November. So that could be very well why that money was returned to the United Health Group PAC. But previously, Senator Murphy appears to be more than happy to have taken thousands of dollars from the United Healthcare Group's PAC in 2016 and in 2018. And just several years later, he is now laying into this industry, really, I think, as a reference to United Healthcare, and saying that this company, following its CEO's brutal assassination, is indifferent to human life and only cares about profits.
Yeah. We're on the phone with Adam Pack. He is a reporter for the Daily Caller News Foundation. You can read his article if you go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com now in the stupidest thing I read today, or you can go to Daily Caller to read the article. It is there. You were one of the headlines today when I saw it. I mean, as soon as I saw it, I went, "Oh, who's this Andy Pack guy? Well, what's Adam? I need Adam Pack on the line now." But so we got you really, really fast. You found out. Well, here's the interesting part. A lot of people don't know about Chris Murphy, because Chris Murphy, here he is railing against the healthcare industry, taking money from individuals involved in the healthcare industry. And what is the committee that Chris Murphy sits on in Washington?
Yeah, so he sits on several committees, but one of them is the Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee, which plays a direct role in regulating the healthcare industry. So he is a big influence over how these industries are regulated in Washington, which I think is another important tidbit to add to this conversation.
Now let's talk about, I want to play the video because I haven't played the whole thing yet. This video is what prompted your reporting. And if I may ask, were you assigned this or did you see the video and then investigate? How did your article come about?
I just happened to see the video. It just popped up onto my feed. It's gotten millions and millions of views, so it's widely circulated.
Okay, so here's Chris Murphy, the video he put out on Sunday that prompted Adam Pack's reporting.
Listen, I think that political leaders in this country need to be part of this conversation that's happening all over the country in the wake of the shooting of the United Healthcare CEO. I know that it's fraught. I know that it's uncomfortable, but this is really important. Listen, I'm never going to condone violence. I don't here. I spent my entire life fighting gun violence because I know that the devastation is enormous that it leaves behind. What I see happening in this country, though, is a real visceral anger that the outrage at Brian Thompson's death or the outrage at the death of any powerful person isn't matched by the anger over the thousands of people who die often anonymous deaths every single day in this country at the hands of a healthcare industry that mostly doesn't give a shit about people and only cares about profits. Ordinary people in this country are not indifferent to the loss of life, but these companies are. Why do I know this? Why do millions of Americans know this? Because the business model of the healthcare industry is to deny care, necessary medical care to people who need it and force them into bankruptcy or worse, let them die in order to grow profit.
And that was the part that got me the most, talking about how they grow profit at the expense of human life, while this guy collects, and I think the number that you kept, we're talking about numbers to the tune of $1.7 million?
Yeah, so if you would look at all the campaign contributions that Senator Murphy has gotten since he entered the Senate more than 18 years ago, that the number would be extraordinarily substantial, and it comes from not just health insurance companies, but big pharmaceutical companies, hospital systems, you name it. Senator Murphy has gotten a substantial amount of contributions from the industry that he is now criticizing and railing against.
We're on the phone with Adam Pack, a journalist for the Daily Caller News Foundation, talking about his article related to Chris Murphy in a video I just played, talking about or railing against the healthcare industry and the death of Brian Thompson of the United Healthcare CEO, actually, who was murdered. Adam, let me ask you this. Now, do you expect to hear from Senator Murphy? Are you going to be dogged on this to see if we can get a response? Because I think that he needs to address this if he is, in essence, this is a guy who is vying for a leadership role in the Democratic Party post-election. Like every article is being written about him is him talking about how he wants to rework or revamp the Democrat Party, so he wants to be a party player. Should we not? I kind of feel like I'm almost asking you, are you going to join me in sort of knocking on this guy's door a couple of thousand times to see if we can get some answers out of him?
Right. We would certainly love to get an answer. I don't know if I expect to get a response, but it's something that we are definitely going to continuing to monitor here at the Daily Caller News Foundation. And yes, Senator Murphy is trying to play an outsized role in the Democratic Party now. He's advocating for a more populist approach. This comes after President-elect Donald Trump's decisive victory in November, where the Republican Party has really now become the party of the working class to a lot of estimates, and the Republican Party is gaining with a lot of different constituencies that really, I think, makes Senate Democrats like Christopher Murphy a little jealous or puts them on their toes. And I think that this criticism of the healthcare industry, of billionaires and CEOs that Senator Murphy is really concentrating on lately is part of a wider effort to kind of compete with Donald Trump's populist appeal, but in a different way, obviously.
Yeah, I think, Adam, I've noticed this, and I've talked about this at length, that he is trying to sound like 2016 Bernie Sanders. Do you get that sense as well?
I think that is 100% correct, Reese, because we did see a statement following Donald Trump's victory. Senator Sanders put out this statement saying that the reason that Trump won by such a large margin is that the Democratic Party has essentially abandoned the working class. So I think you've hit the nail on the head there. Senator Murphy, he's also, in that video, as you saw, he's dressing pretty informally, wearing a sweatshirt and a baseball cap. Not the typical Senate attire, if you will. So I think that we're also seeing this in Senator Murphy's sartorial decisions, not just his rhetoric.
I believe, to be honest with you, look, I've been saying this to everyone. Do not get fooled by Chris Murphy. Chris Murphy is not a populist by any stretch. By adopting Bernie Sanders' ideals, so to speak, or ideology, he's trying to package socialism in a populism bag. That's all I think he's doing. Because think about it. Everything he's talking about, Adam, he's talking about going after billionaires. In fact, in his, I think the speech that he gave, or the video that he put out immediately after the election, was he said that he was an interview he did with the Bulwark. He says, we need to take power from the billionaires and give them to the people. That's nothing more than redistribution of wealth. I mean, that's socialism. Right. It's not populism. Who does he think he's kidding?
Right, absolutely. And I think some people would point out that this really harsh rhetoric against billionaires or CEOs following Brian Thompson's murder is almost putting a target on their back.
Indeed.
And that this justification of violence that we see from Senator Murphy is something that a lot of people have started to call out as dangerous and not constructive in this political debate. So something I'd also like to quickly point out is that we know that Senator Murphy has been a huge advocate of restrictive gun laws. That's one of his biggest priorities in the Senate, and he's always quick to condemn shootings across the country.
Indeed.
And we saw that yesterday with the senseless tragedy at the Christian school in Wisconsin that had the school shooting. Senator Murphy is quick to condemn that and doesn't proceed to justify it by any means. But that's not what's happened with Brian Thompson's murder. Yes, Senator Murphy has condemned it, but then he also offers this explanation as to why we need to have a conversation about it.
Yeah, it's interesting. You're right, because again, we a somber anniversary we just dealt with here in the state of Connecticut is the Sandy Hook shooting, and he was all over that, talking about gun violence, and then in this case trying to give some passing of any interest in why we should be outraged at the death of Brian Thompson. We got to go, but Adam Pack, thank you so much from the Daily Caller News Foundation. Adam, whenever you're writing something, give me a holler on my cell phone, okay?
Will do. Thanks so much for having me, Reese.
Much appreciated, sir. Adam Pack, Daily Caller News Foundation. We'll have him back. Let's get another check of our traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. If you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound side of 91, look for delays from exit 36 down to 32 A and B, again down by exit 28. More delays, 23 down to 21 in Cromwell. On the northbound side of 91, that's moving well. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. If you're on westbound 84, you've got delays. East Hartford 56 Governor Street out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound slowing a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 291 eastbound delays, I-91 over to the Bissell Bridge. 2 westbound, some slow traffic 8 to 5D, again from exit 4 to the 84 West merge in East Hartford. If you're traveling 291 eastbound, slowing from I-91 over to the Bissell Bridge. Now, if you are on 9 southbound, look out for an accident now in Cromwell between exit 29 and 27. That was taking out the right lane there, so stay to the left there. Delays are back to exit 29A behind that in Cromwell. Northbound 9 slowing Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. North 9 again is slowing from the I-91 interchange up to 31 and again up by exit 34 in New Britain. Westbound side 84 is a little slow, 35 to 33 in Plainville. Westbound 84 tied up again, approaching 26 to 25 in Waterbury. If you're on the eastbound side of 84, you'll lose some speed moving down the big hill toward the 691 interchange. If you're traveling eastbound 84 Danbury, you're tight 3 to 5, again from 8 out to 9 in Newtown, and again by exit 11 in Newtown. Westbound 84 slows approaching 9 to exit 7 in Danbury. Southbound Parkway, look for delays 62 down to 60 in Hamden. 95 southbound, you're slowing from 46 down to 43 in West Haven. 91 southbound, delays 3 down in toward the 95 interchange. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Breezy and mild for our Tuesday afternoon with some sunshine, the nicest day of the week, the high up to 58. Partly cloudy and cold tonight, the low down to 31. For Wednesday, it'll be cooler with increasing clouds. We'll get a little rain late in the afternoon, the high of 46, but damp, raw, and chilly feeling. Thursday, breezy with clouds and sun. That high 43 is going to feel like it's well down in the 30s at times with those northwest winds at 10 to 20 miles an hour. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
4:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva. The accused killer of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson has been charged with murder as an act of terrorism. Prosecutors disclosed the indictment today as they work to bring Luigi Mangione to a New York courtroom from a Pennsylvania jail. He's facing unrelated charges there. Mangione's already been charged with murder in the December 4th killing of Thompson. The indictment could help move along the procedural steps toward extraditing the suspect back to New York. Investigators in Wisconsin still trying to determine a motive for a school shooting that left a teacher and a student dead, 2 other children in critical condition. Police Chief Sean Barnes in Madison, Wisconsin, says it appears to be a combination of factors and is urging anyone who knew the 15-year-old shooter's feelings to reach out. She took her own life. Passenger in a car that struck a police cruiser has been identified in West Haven. Panjala Niraj Good was 23. Passenger in that vehicle that hit the police car that was parked on Derby Avenue in a gas station parking lot. The driver of the Elantra apparently lost control in the slippery conditions. Still believed to be hospitalized, the officer has been released. A Manchester man being charged with distracted driving and other offenses in a June crash on Warren Avenue in Vernon that left an 81-year-old from Tulland dead. Under arrest and facing charges, 34-year-old Stephen Lewis of Manchester. Gilgo Beach serial killer suspect Max Hewerman now facing a 7th murder charge. He was hit with another murder charge today in the death of Valerie Mack, whose remains were found over 2 decades ago. Hewerman pled not guilty in court today. Now, markets down on Wall Street this Tuesday. The Dow finished off 267 points. The Nasdaq down 64, and the S&P was down 23 points. Women's college basketball tonight. Iowa State against number 4 UConn down at Mohegan Sun. 8:30 tip there. NHL tonight. The Bruins are in Calgary. Rangers skate in Nashville, and the Isles are at Carolina. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
It's Alice Shattuck, and I have something to tell you that they don't want you to know. You don't need to be reliant on the big pharma companies and government bureaucrats telling you what to do to lose that extra weight and stay at a healthy body composition for the rest of your life. Awaken 180 Weight Loss is not a diet or a drug. It's a science-based, personalized coaching program that's uniquely customized to your body and lifestyle to ensure you directly burn body fat while not missing out on living your life. I make myself delicious, healthy food, like my favorite taco omelet, Asian beef lettuce wraps, buttery garlic salmon. I eat out with friends and family and even enjoy a night out on the town. I used to always try to lose weight, but I was lost between government dietary guidelines and fat advice on the internet. Awaken 180 works for me. It will work for you too. At Awaken 180, the coaches teach you how to eat for life to maintain your ideal weight. And after completing the program, you receive free maintenance coaching forever. Book your first appointment by calling 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800. 1-800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
For eligible individuals. Self-perceived mild to moderate hearing loss only. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
Hello, I'm Dr. Harvey Abrams, head of research audiology at Jabra Enhance. Did you know there's a connection between untreated hearing loss and chronic conditions like cognitive decline and dementia? The good news is hearing aids can actually reduce these risks and help you stay connected. Today, I'm excited to tell you about my favorite hearing aids, the game-changing Jabra Enhance Select 500. Jabra Enhance offers an affordable solution for most common hearing problems with our best-ever speech-enhancing capabilities for a mighty sound in a micro-sized package. Plus, with Jabra Enhance's premium package, you get 3 years of continuous remote care provided by licensed hearing healthcare professionals. No waiting rooms or long commutes. It's as easy as video chatting with a friend. Because at Jabra Enhance, our job is to help you hear and be heard.
Save $300 on Enhance Select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to Jabra.com/radio. That's JABRA enhance.com/radio. Jabraenhance.com/radio.
Stay locked in. Reese on the radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
We're back. It's Reese on the radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. Also, if you want to see another article, the Washington Examiner has an article about Chris Murphy as well. Here's that headline. Gun control hypocrite. Chris Murphy rationalized healthcare CEO shooting. That's what Adam Pack was talking about at the end of our conversation in the last break. Is that, just read this headline. It says it all, but the first paragraph is pretty scathing. Senator Chris Murphy is no stranger to exploiting murders and trying and emotionally manipulate people into supporting his gun control agenda. But after the murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, Murphy instead wants us to hear the shooter out. So the Washington Examiner has that article as well. Actually, I'll just link that on my Facebook page. So you can view it. Just go to reasonoradio.com so you can friend us or follow us on Facebook as well to read that article. So Chris Murphy, just with all due respect, man, just, take a seat. This incessant need to make yourself relevant to the Democrat Party or for some people to see you as some thought leader of the party only makes you look silly. And the hypocrisy of your tenure as a senator is being more and more exploited. What are you going to do now? Are you going to come out and do a video about the sanctity of marriage? Are you going to do that next? Okay, seriously, just stay in your lane. Okay, just really stay in your lane. I call him a media tramp for a reason, folks. Just because I don't want to call him the other, I don't want to use the S word. I just don't. But that's the way he's behaving. Just having to stick his toe in everything. It's like, see, look at me. I've got an opinion. Just shut up, dude. With all due respect, just shut up. You don't know what you're talking about, and you look more and more like a clown the more you do, which I welcome. But it's nauseous and exhausting to watch a guy look this foolish every day. Just back up. Take a break. You won your election. Come back next year. It's the holidays, Come back in January. But just take a break. Just take it's one beat, please, if you could. At this point, it's just like you're like a petulant child. He keeps asking to be picked up. Take a break. I'll take a break, too. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Hey, Mark, how are you?
All right, Reese, thank you very much. If you're heading into downtown Hartford right now, you are looking at slow traffic on the southbound side of I-91. This traffic report is being brought to you by Stu Leonard's. And southbound 91, look for delays coming down from exit 35 in Windsor down to 32 A and B, and again 27 to 28. More slow traffic 23 down to 22 in Cromwell. Now northbound 91, some slow traffic approaching 25, 26 in Wethersfield. After that, you get a good ride up into Windsor. Westbound side of 84 slows 56 Governor Street out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound slows a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 291 eastbound's a little slow. I-91 over to the Bissell Bridge. 2 westbound slowing 8 to 5D, and again from exit 4 to the 84 West merge in East Hartford. 3 northbound, you've got delays approaching the Putnam Bridge over to the Route 2 ramps in Glastonbury.
Does
Same
line
story
2
on the
not want to
southbound
give
side
their
of Route
name?
3, slowing from Route 2 over to...
Oh, there's some people that always call withheld. There's only like 5 or 6 individuals that don't want to give up their numbers because they think somebody is like tracking their number.
From an earlier
Did it say
accident.
their name?
Northbound 9 slowing.
I haven't even clicked on it yet.
Harbor Park area up toward the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. Again, delays I-91 up to 31 in Berlin and 32 to 34 in New Britain. Westbound side of 84 tied up in Cheshire, approaching 26 to 25. 84 eastbound in Danbury slowing 3 to 5. And again, more delays from 8 out to exit 9 in Newtown. If you're traveling southbound Parkway, you've got delays 62 down into the West Rock Tunnel. 91 southbound slowing 4 into the 95 interchange. 95 southbound delays 46 to 43 in West Haven. Shop money-saving app deals at Stu Leonard's Farm Fresh Foods. This week, cold water 4-ounce lobster tails are only $5.99 each. You save $4 plus. Freshly ground beef chuck, only $2.99 per pound. You save $1 a pound. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Partly cloudy and chilly tonight, the low down to 33. Then it's cooler from here on out for the rest of the week. Increasing clouds Wednesday. Little rain late in the afternoon could impact the evening commute. We'll continue with the periods of rain right through to after midnight. The high of 48 on our Wednesday. Thursday, breezy. A mix of clouds and sun, the high 43, but northwest winds 10 to 20 miles an hour, going to make it feel like it's well down in the 30s at best much of the day. Cloudy on Friday, a snow shower around, the high of 34. Could be a period of steadier snow at night, so could be some slow and slick travel after dark on Friday. Saturday, variably cloudy, breezy. It is going to be cold, the high of 30, but gusty winds will make it feel like it's in the teens and 20s at best. Then Sunday, still quite cold, plenty of sun. The high of 22 will feel like it's still down in the teens with a bit of a breeze. Currently, it's 50 in Bridgeport, 54 in New Haven, 52 in New London, 55 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
This holiday season, make Liquor Square in Unionville your one-stop shop. Liquor Square's got an incredible selection of wine, spirits, and craft beers to make your holiday celebration special. Stop by today or shop online for delivery at liquorsquaredt.com. Liquor Square, your holiday destination for great taste.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars. Lose the weight, stop smoking, early bird special, $49.99. Seminars Thursday, January 9th, Hilton Garden Inn, Hartford, South Glastonbury in Glastonbury. Weight loss 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 p.m. Or Saturday, January 11th, Holiday Inn Express, Southington. Weight loss 11 a.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 p.m.
Steel holiday savings are here. Make room under the tree for gifts at the top of their wish list. Power up the holidays with great deals on long-lasting tools. Find the perfect gift at your local Steel dealer or shop the Steel Holiday Gift Guide at steelusa.com.
If you're still...
Hold on a minute.
Here's another one. At California Psychics, we reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work for us. So we only connect you with the best. That's how we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. If that's not a sign, I don't know what is. Dramatic sound effect incoming. Experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Can't get to a WTIC holiday store? Donate from your phone. Text WTIC to 31333.
It's Reese on the radio. When the next hour breaks in at 5 o'clock, we're not going to do 5 o'clock focus today. I want to talk about the Wisconsin shooter. I've got a couple of pages of this so-called manifesto where people are saying that there is no motive to the shooting. If you're not savvy online, that's okay. That's what Reese on the radio is here for. A lot of you have been online and you've been able to read this manifesto. Andy No has actually done some really, really great work to get that. And what this 15-year-old said about women, about men, and about blacks is alarming. And it is the reason why the mainstream news media is telling you, oh, no motive here. In fact, I don't see it anywhere. No one's talking about it. I'm not seeing mainstream talk about it. They're saying it's tragic, but they're not covering the story. For good reason, they do not want to expose what this young lady said in her missives. But we will. Okay? So there'll be no debate about whether or not there's a motive after I read it to you. And yes, when I say she talks about blacks, she refers to them as the N-word. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Back to the phones we go. 860-522-WTIC. My bodyguard, Joe, is in Simsbury. How you doing, sir?
Hi there. So with regards to yesterday's shooting, I just wanted to call in and say that I made a mistake because I was looking at X, and there were some things posted there by people that I follow. They're usually right, that were saying that it was a trans person, and in the end, it turned out to be a crazed feminist. So I wanted to.
Oh yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Yeah. So basically, I made a mistake, and hopefully that shows me as being someone who's not mentally ill, because you will never see Chris Murphy and most Democrats ever say the word mistake. And it is frightening. Right now, you and other folks are talking about Chris Murphy opening his mouth, inserting his foot all the way down to the ankle. And you will not see this man come out and say, hey, I was upset. There's a lot of things going on in our healthcare system. I misspoke. I made a mistake. He just won't do that like other Democrats, because they truly, especially in this state, they appeal to the sick, the intellectually lazy, the ignorant, because in the end, most of the people that vote for this man will never know that he made that comment, because they're so uninformed and they're just not connected with what's going on. One of the things, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say the thing that alarms me is the fact that this guy, he tried to do a bait and switch, saying that he wasn't going to take money directly from the insurance industry while he was quietly taking them from individuals inside that industry and didn't think anyone would notice. And the fact that the money that he's taking from individuals is far more alarming than he would have taken from the industries themselves. And talking about, what does he think these folks, what money does he think these individuals in the healthcare industry are spending? It's their profits. And their profits are giving that money to a guy who's going to go to the Senate and, in essence, lobby for them because they've lined his pockets.
Well, what you said is a perfect example of a factual situation that should be seriously discussed. Yet again, most of the people in this state that vote for this man will never hear that message.
Yeah.
Because they have the media that will protect them. They're unengaged. And rather than go down the adjectives, let me just throw out one thing that he said. I don't recall, and I don't want to misspeak here, unlike him. They say millions of people are dying anonymously because of no health care, or they say hundreds of thousands or something like that. What the real issues are when you dig into it is that there's people that are not getting, they have no chance, and turbo cancers are dramatically increasing. And they're looking for experimental treatments that in many cases the insurance companies will not pay for.
Right.
So he'll blame the insurance companies for that. It's like, I want to do something experimental. We're not paying for it. Well, you evil insurance company. And then the other side of it, because there's no one. You could be totally dead broke, and if you are at the verge of passing away, you're going to be put in a hospice or you're going to be in the hospital, depending on your situation.
Indeed.
And there are a lot of people out there who, because I've seen this happen in my own social circle, where the insurance company says 3 days in the hospital for that surgery. And they're like, oh, no, this person, they need to be in the hospital 5 days. And the insurance company says, no, it's 3. Based on our actuarial information and what the doctors have said, 3 days, unless there's something else that's wrong. And then the doctor can contact us and we'll talk to the doctor about it. Well, the person comes home after 3 days and then they catch the flu.
Yeah.
And then suddenly it's like, oh, my gosh, if they weren't brought home so early, this darn insurance company, they would still be alive. That's what these people are basically saying. There's no one who doesn't get the care that they need in this country unless they don't show up at the door of the hospital.
Yeah, it's an argument.
Happen.
It's an argument that I've been making for years, Joe. And people don't understand. They don't find a distinction between health care and health insurance. Because you know what, Joe? If you were to be stabbed, God forbid, if you were to ever be stabbed, or so you were to ever have an incident at your home where you almost cut off a finger, if you go to the hospital, you're not going to be denied care. You're going to be seen. You're going to get a hefty bill, but you're going to be seen. So these people are using it, and that's always been the argument, is that people are being denied the ability to be seen by doctors and equating that with health insurance. And the two are not the same. And I think that's where the big argument is. And I have that debate with a lot of ignorant people, too, all the time.
Yeah, they don't get it because it's a highly emotional situation, and also they're just, in many cases, intellectually not invested enough into how the system really works, so that way they can say, oh, now I understand why things are the way that they are.
Indeed.
There's, it's just one of those situations where it's emotional, so a Democrat politician is going to take full advantage of it.
Exactly. It's an opportunity to take the more. It's an opportunity to have or to have the moral high ground, I should say, not cede it, but to take the moral high ground from everybody else. See, I care. It's a joke every time.
Yep.
Thank you, Joe. Much appreciated, sir. Mike's in Plainville. How are you doing, Mike?
I would have loved to seen the video of Shaq throwing George Clooney out of his restaurant.
You and me both.
Pay to see it. I would pay to see it because I'm not a fan of George Clooney. He hates the military. He hates the police.
Interesting.
He's played military roles and police roles in movies. What a hypocrite.
Yeah, I've got a scar over my eye because of a movie that he played in with Nicole Kidman about being a military guy. It's a long story. I'll tell you.
Yeah, that was the Peacemaker.
That's it. That's the movie. How'd you remembered it? That movie caused me to walk into a wall.
I watched that movie for the special effects, not for his acting abilities, which are not. I'm telling you.
Yeah, wow,
but,
Peacemaker.
These Stephen A. Smiths and his Chris Murphys, you know what the problem is? People just give them the time to talk, and these people listen.
But listen to me. But there's a beauty to that, Mike. Listen, there's a reason why we gotta. I say Chris Murphy's need to shut his mouth. The sad part about it is that the more Chris Murphy opens his mouth, the more he gets played. Right? These two articles that were written about him literally happened because he opened his mouth, that he showed what a hypocrite he was, that we're just past the somber anniversary of Sandy Hook, and this guy is finding an excuse for us to understand the murder of a CEO after the guy then goes out and tells everybody in the world that we need to redistribute the power of billionaires and millionaires in this country. So he's literally setting himself up to fail, and I'm loving every bit of it. But some of it is just embarrassing.
The Democrats got their dupas handed to them in the election.
Yeah, and exactly.
And now there's going to be a residual effect, I believe. I believe that people are going to stop listening to people like that, and Dick Blumenthal and all the other blowhards on the Democratic side, along with CNN and MSNBC and all the other communist stations.
You have to watch them flail, though. That's what's happening here. This is nothing.
I love it.
This is nothing more than a bunch of people sinking in quicksand. And then, what do they tell you to do when you're in quicksand? To lie still and wait until you're rescued? These people know that they're sinking, and they're flailing about. Chris Murphy, Dick Blumenthal, all of them, they're flailing about.
I like being up on the high ground and watching.
As do I, my good friend, as do I.
Thanks, Reese.
Thank you, sir. Tom is in Thomaston. How you doing, Tom?
Hey, good. Thanks for taking my call. Hey, you the last section you said Chris Murphy's a tramp. I say he's nothing but a pimp. He can't wait for the next school shooting. And my better angel says he is really sorry about what happened yesterday. But then my cynical side says, oh, Chris is saying this is another moneymaker for me. Let's get out let's send out Let's send the word out. Let's get more donations.
It's so true because you know what? Here's the thing, and I've got audio of that too. He was immediately on MSNBC, because he thinks he's the spokesperson for every shooting, right? He's taking it on himself that he's got to respond to everything. And again, this is why I say the whole media tramp. You got a camera, he's jumping in front of it, right? Now, usually the word that I would use starts with a W. All right, but, this is a family station. I'm not going to use that word, but that's what he is. He's a media tramp in the sense that, you know what, give him an opportunity. Hey, you guys want to talk to somebody about gun control? I'm your tramp. And he jumps in front of it.
That's why I say he's even worse than that. He's the manipulator behind it. He's the street pimp that rakes in all the money off of the tragedy in life.
Yeah,
he's the worst.
But remember, they say that a pimp will sell his own behind if the prostitute won't. And so I think that Chris Murphy in this regard is doing exactly what I expect him to do, because remember, he believes that putting himself in the spotlight makes him more, recognizable. He's trying to go from Connecticut senator to senator of the country. Everybody recognizes him. He has name recognition. He knows that he's got no wins on a national platform unless everybody sees him every day. But here's where his failure is. He shows up on networks no one's watching, which again shows that how smart Chris Murphy is.
Yeah. You and Tom have got to stay on him month after month. We may not be able – in Connecticut, we can't really do much about the presidency. The Democrats are going to get their 7 electoral votes.
Yeah.
But we could keep him away from any national prominency. I hope we do that.
Exactly. And I think that what we need to do is to educate people. And again, as I always do, I let their own words do the talking, and people will recognize exactly who they are. Thank you, Tom. Much appreciate you, sir. Here's Chris Murphy on, again, Morning Joke, doing exactly what he does, sell himself.
As we've said many times on this show, the answer, the attitude from our country after these school shootings can't be to throw up its collective hands and say, well, what can we do? What are we going to do? And you haven't done that. I think it's important to underline that, because there is sort of a defeatism in some ways. When people see this on the news, it's terrible. Their heart breaks. It's awful. They think about their own children and their own schools and their teachers and their loved ones, and then they kind of move on and know there'll be another one in a couple of weeks. So can you speak just to remind people of what you all were able to do a couple of years ago and why that has, in fact, had an impact here?
Yeah, one of the things we did in that bill was to make it harder for young people. And unfortunately, it does tend to be young men, 18, 19, 20 years old, who engage in these shootings. That bill put an enhanced background check on young buyers of rifles. You still can't buy a pistol in this country if you're under 21, but you could buy an AR-15. So we're much more careful about selling those guns to young people, and we have stories from all across the country where law enforcement actually stopped young people, mostly young men, in crisis from buying a weapon that they maybe were going to use in a mass shooting.
Yeah, he talks about men, but of course, at the time, he didn't know that it was a young lady. When we get back, top of the hour, we will talk about the shooter in a Wisconsin school and read parts of the manifesto. Now let's get another check of our traffic with Mark Christopher at the PPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. This traffic report is being brought to you by Tab Computer Systems, a 100% employee-owned company. And if you are coming 91 southbound into downtown Hartford right now, you got slow traffic from exit 35 down to 32A and B, again down by exit 27 and 28. Another bump from 24 down to exit 22 and the Route 9 interchange. Northbound 91 slows 24 up to 25, 26. Route 3 northbound's heavy from Weathersfield from I-91 over the Putnam Bridge over to the Route 2 ramps. Southbound Route 3 is slowing from Route 2 in Glastonbury to the Putnam Bridge down to the 91 ramps. If you are traveling on the westbound side of 84, you've got delays 56 Governor Street out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound slowing a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue to the Bulkley Bridge. 291 eastbound's tight. I-91 over to the Bissell Bridge. If you are traveling 2 eastbound, you'll see slow traffic coming off I-84 out to exit 5C. 2 westbound's tight up by 5D in Glastonbury, and again from exit 4 to the 84 west merge. Heading into Middletown, 9 northbound, you've got slow traffic now from Harbor Park up toward the Aragoni Bridge. If you're on the southbound side of Route 9, you're going to see delays now as you move down by exit 27 in Cromwell. And that's going to stay tight right down to the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. 9 northbound slows 31 to exit 35 in New Britain on the northbound side of Route 9. Westbound 84 is a little tight, 33 to 32 in Southington. 84 westbound in Cheshire delays 691 all the way up to exit 23 in Waterbury. 84 eastbound slowing by 18 in Waterbury. 84 eastbound in Danbury, you're going to see delays now from exit 3 up to exit 5, and more slow traffic from exit 8 up to exit 9 in Newtown, and again 10 to 11 in Newtown. Southbound Parkway, you're locked up 62 down in toward the West Rock Tunnel. And 95 southbound New Haven's tight from 46 down to 43 in West Haven. 91 southbound delays from 6 in toward the 95 interchange. At Tab Computer Systems, our employee owners are dedicated to your business success. We offer affordable enterprise-grade solutions in cybersecurity, VoIP, compliance, IT consulting, implementation, and support. Technologies advancing business. Tab Computer Systems. I'm Mark Christopher. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC is 99 and throwing a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
5 o'clock, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Partly cloudy skies tonight, low in the low 30s. And then looks like we've got a return of some rain tomorrow. Cooler, too. High only in the mid-40s from where we were today. Additional charges against the suspect in the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Luigi Mangione faces murder in the first degree and 2 counts of second-degree murder, including 1 count as an act of terrorism. Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg says Mangione faces 11 charges all told.
This was a frightening, well-planned, targeted murder that was intended to cause shock and attention and intimidation.
The Mangione is still jailed in Pennsylvania on unrelated charges. Authorities in Madison, Wisconsin, still trying to figure out why a 15-year-old girl opened fire on school on Monday. Here's CBS's Matt Piper.
The police chief says the motive appears to be a combination of factors, but won't share what they are. But Sean Barnes will say,
we're talking to students to understand whether bullying was one of those multiple factors that I mentioned earlier.
He says police have not confirmed the authenticity of a document that might have been written by the 15-year-old girl behind the attack.
Some have asked if people were specifically targeted. Everyone was targeted in this incident, and everyone was put in equal danger.
Matt Piper, CBS News.
A Sandy Hook shooting survivor says incidents like the one in Wisconsin Monday make a lifelong impact on students who were there. Matt Holden was a first grader at Sandy Hook Elementary School in 2012.
Those kids are going to have to go through the same healing process, the same trauma, the same life that I've kind of had to live. And, anyone who's been through that doesn't want that for anyone else. And so it's incredibly disappointing to see it, happening again and again.
Holden is now a freshman studying political science at George Washington University, and he's active in the Nuketown Action Alliance, calling for an assault weapons ban, universal background checks, and a federal version of Connecticut's Ethan's Law on safe gun storage. Increased police presence at Cheshire High School today after reports that a student brought a weapon to school last Friday. The schools were closed on Monday. Police say the school resource officer launched an investigation after a student reported seeing another with a weapon in a school bathroom. 8 students were interviewed. Police say one of those students had a cell phone cover that may have been mistaken for a weapon. New charge has been filed in New York against the suspect in the Gilgo Beach case.
A seventh murder pinned on Rex Heuermann, who spoke in court for the first time. Your Honor, he said, I'm not guilty of any of these crimes. The 61-year-old Massapequa architect is allegedly linked to the murder of 24-year-old Valerie Mack of New Jersey by DNA.
That's CBS's Carolyn Gussoff reporting. 7 electoral college members in Connecticut cast their ballots for president and vice president during a ceremony at the state capitol today. Vice President Harris and Governor Tim Walz received all 7 votes for president and VP in the ceremonial gathering. Secretary of the State Stephanie Thomas says it takes many to carry out an election.
I thank all of the registrars of voters, the town clerks and their teams, the moderators, the poll workers, and all of the members of our elections team at the Secretary's office.
Now, the ballots from all 50 states and D.C. will be counted January 6th in the U.S. Senate, formally certifying former President Donald Trump and Senator J.D. Vance as the next president and vice president. Wall Street Dow down 267 points today. The Nasdaq lost 64 and the S&P was down 23. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring line.
1 minute.
Messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text EDGE to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text EDGE to 42424. That's EDGE to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
It's the 5 o'clock focus.
It's the 5 o'clock focus.
I'm focused, man. In this 5 o'clock focus, we'll pay attention to the shooter in Wisconsin, the young lady who took the lives of individuals at her school. She's a 15-year-old who opened fire, killing people. I think her name is Natalie Rupnow. She's 15 years old. And there are now pictures of her from her life. They do believe that she took her own life. And even though the police are saying that they know a motive, they are not releasing it. We have the motive. We've read it. In fact, I have it here in front of me. It is off-putting. It is scary. And it is troubling for a lot of reasons. But let me say this before we get to the BPS Traffic Center. As Eric Adams said, and I played his audio at the beginning of the show, children are being radicalized on the left. And this young lady is no different. The fact that a 15-year-old thought what she thought about women, about men, and about blacks is alarming. I'll give you a little tease. This young lady went so far as to say that white women, if they sleep with N-words, that makes them an N-word too. Her words in her manifesto. Along with a lot of other shocking comments that she makes in them as well. And we'll read most of them. So there's a reason why the police are not going to tell anyone what the motive was, because it is an indictment of the left. And you don't want to miss it. So be back just in a little bit. I'll read a lot of it to you. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. If you're westbound 84, look out for an accident involving a tractor-trailer westbound between 47 and 46 on the left shoulder. And state police are working with that, so look out for that. Looks like the left lane, left shoulder taken out once again between 47 and 46 on the westbound side of 84. You got delays kicking back now into East Hartford as you approach 56 Governor Street up to that point. 84 eastbound, you've got slow traffic about a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue down to the Bulkley Bridge. Southbound 91, you're slowing from exit 36 down to 32 A and B. Another slowdown 27 to 28. And some more slow traffic as you move between 25 S and exit 24 in Rocky Hill. You'll see more delays from 23 down to 22 in Cromwell. And another bump from 20 in Middletown down to exit 19 in Meriden. Northbound side of 91, look for delays 24 up to 25, 26. After that, a good ride up into Windsor. 291 eastbound's locked up from I-91 over to the Bissell Bridge. If you are traveling 2 eastbound, heavy off of I-84 out to 5C. 3 north and southbound slowing between I-91 and Route 2. Glastonbury to Weathersfield. If you're traveling on 9 southbound, look for delays 27 down to the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. 9 northbound slows Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. If you're heading westbound 84 in Cheshire, delays 691 interchange. You're tight right up to exit 25 in Waterbury. 84 eastbound, some slow traffic between 26 and the 691 interchange in Cheshire. Heading over to Danbury, 84 eastbound locked up New York, Connecticut line to 5. 84 eastbound is tight again from 9 up to exit 11 in Newtown. Southbound on the Parkway, look for delays from exit 62 down into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 southbound, look for slow traffic from 46 to 43 in West Haven. I'm Mark Christopher. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Been a pleasant day, partly cloudy and chilly tonight with the low down to 33. A cooling trend going to take hold for the rest of the week. Starting with our Wednesday, increasing clouds. A little rain late in the afternoon. Could be a tough evening commute with the high of 48. Those periods of rain continue through the evening but end after midnight. Thursday, it'll be breezy with a mix of clouds and sun. The high of 43 will feel like it's well down in the 30s at best with strong northwest wind throughout the day. On Friday, cloudy, a snow shower around, the high of 34. Could be a period of steadier snow during the evening. That could lead to some slow and slick travel after dark. Then on Saturday, a variably cloudy day, breezy, some flurries possible. Listen, it's going to be cold, the high of 30 with a strong northwest wind, making it feel like it's in the teens and 20s at best. Sunday, very cold, plenty of sun, still breezy too. The high 22 is going to feel like it's well down in the teens, so bundle up if you're going to be out and about. 52 in Mansfield right now, New Haven at 50. It's 54 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Reba is back, live in concert. See Reba performing all the hits for one night only, live at Mohegan Sun Arena, Friday, March 28th. Get tickets this Friday at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com.
Be a guest at your own holiday party. Let Highland Park Market do the work. From vegetable platters, cold cut platters, and gourmet party platters to a full catered event. Nobody does it better than Highland Park Market. Only in Manchester, Glastonbury, Farmington, and at HighlandParkMarket.com.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large. Because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to save.
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
Call 800-745-3070. That's 800-745-3070.
Paid for by government. Now is the time to fill your... 1 minute. Silver bars. Grab your piece of America's silver legacy with this special offer. These spectacular shining silver bars featuring a crisp image of the iconic Morgan silver dollar,
Rama,
a
you
legendary coin that has captivated collectors for generations. Americans treasure owning silver bars and coins, putting them away for themselves and their loved ones. Call now to secure 1-ounce silver bars minted in 99.9% pure silver and made in the USA. You'll be glad you did. Hurry, don't miss out on on this special deal. Save $10 per silver bar. The more you buy, the more you save. Limit of 25 bars per customer. Call to learn more. Plus, with qualifying orders, you'll receive a free Morgan Silver Dollar. That's a $59.95 value and free shipping. Call 222-3871 now to secure your 1-ounce Morgan Silver Dollar bars. That's 1-800-222-3871.
It's the 5 o'clock focus.
It's the 5 o'clock focus.
I'm focused, man. Reese on the radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. And, of course, you heard at the top of the hour, it has been this story, a nationwide story. The 15-year-old young girl who was the shooter at the Wisconsin Catholic school has been identified as Natalie Rupp now. And they say that there are pictures of her wearing a shirt linked to the young men who shot up Columbine in 1999. But the reason why most of the news media is talking about Columbine and talking about school shootings and not talking about the motive is for obvious reasons. And that is because of what this young lady wrote. Here's a small sample. We'll get into the other parts as well. She was not happy with her parents, and she was not happy with men or boys for that matter. Here's a little bit. Women are the only hope for this wretched world. Oh, you know what? I should preface this. Sorry, this is important. If you hear me use the word moid or foid, M-O-I-D or F-O-I-D, these are supposed to be, in some sort of vernacular, a female foid /android, moid, male /android. I don't know what the kids are doing, but that's what she refers to them as in this missive. Also, if you hear me use the word blanking, she's using the F word. So I want to make sure that this translates to you. And I will not use the N-word. I will just say N-word. Women are the only hope for this wretched world. But even women have been brainwashed by moids for too long. They've internalized the patriarchy and turned on each other, always begging for male approval and validation. It's disgusting. I realize the truth. Men are irredeemable. Radfem, or radical feminism, Radfem Hitler was blanking vindicated now. They can't be reformed or redeemed. They're blanking scourge upon the earth. The only solution is to total exterminate them and every foid who worships these blanking parasites. Every single male must be wiped out, from babies to the elderly. Only then can women be free to create a new world. I'll be a pioneer. I'll be the first to take the first step. I don't care if they're fathers, brothers, husbands, sons, teachers, police, and especially N-words or politicians. I've been craving to kill them all. This is my mission. Only when their parasitic sludge has been expunged from the earth is when the world will be clean and women can start over. It's the only way. In approximately 10 minutes, this person claims, I'll be dead. It's strange, but it feels good. Ask yourself this question. Why do you think the sheriff is not sharing this with the world? Why are they keeping the motive hidden? Do you think she got this radicalization from a particular group that they've been calling Hitler and fascist? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. But that's the reason why no one wants to talk about it. No motive. I say there is one. But I even went so far as to check really, really well. And we actually found the full written transcript. It's called War Against Humanity, where this young lady goes after, again, a group of people, men in particular, and she refers to blacks as the N-word. She did. She talks about it a lot. Again, I don't know where any of this is coming from. I just know where I've seen it before. I know where I've seen this kind of talk from or with. The population of scum has been worked over for years, as it did during the wars and fighting over what should be right and wrong. The sick people will dissolve into dust and be forgotten about. You will ruin the human population and turn them into, let's just say, the W word. And filth and beings that shouldn't live. W's and scum are the things I hate most and I will always hate. You have no meaning, and you and your parents should be hanged in front of everyone. N-words, though, worse, are words. This is why they're not releasing it. Once you sleep with one, you are one. I don't care who you think you are or what you've done. Good for this world of yours. It will never matter because you will always have no thought and no brain to continue with. No one's ever going to release this. They will try to keep it hidden. Because they don't want to know that somebody would actually go into a school and be talking about it. It's the same way they didn't want to talk about the Coventry. They didn't want to talk about that either. About the transgender shooter at the Catholic school. It's the reason why they wanted to keep that hidden. We get the manifesto. How long did it take for us to get the manifesto in Buffalo at the top supermarket shooting? Minutes. News media was online. There's nobody even curious about this. They've all read it. I know they have. I've seen everybody online talking about this, but I've gone to the mainstream news media, nowhere to be found at all. And I talked about this at the beginning of the show. This stuff is starting to look really, really bad. The stuff that the left is promoting is starting to really, really, like it's seeping into the minds of these young people. And they become so self-absorbed that part of it is that they realize that they've already got a party that's told them that, you can buy a Prius. You can save the world. You can actually turn the whole world around. They've become self-important, a bunch of navel gazers who then when they realize that they can change nothing, when reality hits them, they go one step further because they're already under this, I don't know, this hypnotism that they need to do more, and it's always violent. And I'm just asking the question, if we're going to figure it out, right? Everybody like Chris Murphy and Dick Blumenthal and Al Sharpton and the news media, we need to delve in more and find out why our young people are acting like this. But the minute that we get a manifesto like this, all of a sudden, no, nothing to see here. We don't want to talk about that now. We don't want to talk about that. Adam's in East Hartford. How you doing, Adam? Okay, maybe not. He's probably waiting so long. No, I'm not going to go there. I'm just not. Nope. It'll wait. We'll wait until after the break. Should I read more? Why not? I mean, it's only right. I mean, there's so much. There's so much to read here. There's so much more to investigate. I'm glad to be different and not the same as other people. I don't know how to be formal. I know how to use my words even if I get mad at you, and there's always been a reason. Whether or not I despise you or just because I can. Some of you guys really do deserve execution, punishment, rather painful. Or not, you deserve to be dead. But yet, doesn't the whole world deserve that? Yeah, but again, why isn't anyone asking the question? Yeah, there you go, Michael A. I told you. They set out the rabid dogs, and then they wonder, why are they rabid dogs? They told everybody that life depends on their radicalism, that the world is going to end. A threat to democracy, a threat to the norms. You got a guy on CNN. This guy used to be a really, really chill guy over at ABC News, but this guy's on CNN. He's their climate correspondent, our chief climate correspondent. I think wasn't it Bill Weir? Something like that. I think that's his name. That guy's on television talking about if Donald Trump becomes president, a calamity. It will be the death of our world, he says. And then they radicalize these people. They tell them they need to be radical feminists, and then somebody's life is taken. And then it's, no, we don't want to talk about that. Can we move on? Can we talk about anything else? Like, we'll do another story about Donald Trump. There are no clips, folks. None. Yesterday, everywhere, same usual suspects on television talking about gun violence. You know who they are. The aforementioned Chris Murphy as well. All on television. Couldn't wait. Running to the TV screens, to the TV cameras. I've got an opinion. Gun violence, gun manufacturers. Turns out she's a radical feminist. Leave a message after the tone. Says she wants to kill all men. I got this meeting I need to get to real quick. Leave a message with my secretary. What happened, Elizabeth Warren? Where are you? What happened, AOC? Where are you? Where are all the radical feminists? Ayanna Pressley, where are you? Where are all the screaming leftist women? Nowhere to be found. What we used to say when we were kids, hey, is this one yours? That's what we say in the park when we see the kids. Kids are throwing sand at each other. Excuse me, miss, is this one yours? Is this one yours? Yeah. They're throwing sand. Sorry. Hey, Democrats, is this one yours? This one's firing weapons into Catholic schools, screaming about how much they hate men. This one yours? Nothing. Again, some people can't defend this anymore. They're not going to be able to. And we're going to have to start asking questions. We're going to have to start demanding answers from these people. We're going to have to call them. We have to contact their offices. We're going to say, hey, we got a hold of the manuscript. We got a hold of the manifesto. What do you got to say? You were screaming about feminism just the other week. What do you say about this? They'll say nothing, as they always do. We'll take your phone calls, 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. I know I've got one more story I need to get into before we get out of here, and that is where was it? I knew. Connecticut ranked as top 10 in the noisiest states in the country. I'll talk to you about that a little bit. And the FBI have arrested 2 men in Boston about a drone and an association with Iran, which I thought was pretty interesting. So I'll see if we can get the audio for that as well from the Fox 25 station in Boston, which was talking about that. So we got a whole bunch of stuff to get into as well. So if you've got a comment, please leave it at resetontheradio.com and go to our Facebook page. We'll talk about all that and more. I don't know, maybe we might delve in a little bit more about this shooter in Wisconsin. See if there's anything else that we can find out. All right? So stick around. We'll be back. Let's get another check of our traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Yeah, on another one.
Oh, okay. Then we'll wait for him. He'll be there in a second. Mark, just chime in when you're ready. Whenever you're ready. Oh, you know what I meant? Oh, no. I'll wait until later before I scream you with this one. Liz Cheney. That's the other thing I got to get into. Whoo, that Liz Cheney story is great. We might get into that one tomorrow at the opening of the show. Now, Mark Christopher's at BPS Traffic Center. Mark?
Not yet. I'll let you know.
Oh, okay. You'll let me know. Liz Cheney has got a criminal referral sent to the FBI. Even if they don't engage on this criminal referral, we've got the Trump administration coming in a couple of days. Oh, baby. And what they've got Liz Cheney on, tampering with a witness. Woo, baby. I'm excited. Maybe she should get that pardon. Now let's get to Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. And this traffic report is being brought to you by Stu Leonard's. And if you're making your way into downtown Hartford right now, look for delays on the southbound side of I-91. You got delays from exit 35 down to 32A and B in Hartford. South of downtown, you're slowing again from exit 27 down to exit 28. Another bump from exit 23 down into the area of exit 22 and the Route 9 interchange. If you are traveling on the northbound side of 91, you're going to see some slow traffic now as you move up from exit 24 up to 25, 26. You're back in the stop and go again from 32A and B up to between 33 and 34. We've got an accident there. Only the left lane and the HOV lane getting by at this time, so stay way left to get around that. After that, good ride up into the Windsor exits. Westbound 84 tied up approaching the Beaufort Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. Look out for a tractor-trailer accident 84 westbound between 48 and 47 downtown on the left shoulder. 84 eastbound is slowing half mile before 46th Avenue into the tunnel. 2 eastbound slowing off of I-84 out to exit 5C. 2 westbound slows exit 4 to the 84 west merge. 3 northbound, you've got delays now from I-91 in Wethersfield over the Putnam Bridge over to the Route 2 ramps in Glastonbury. 9 northbound slowing approaching Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. 9 southbound sluggish traffic approaching the Cromwell Middletown line down to the Aragoni Bridge. 9 northbound slows 31 up to 35 in New Britain. If you're eastbound 84 in Waterbury, look for delays approaching 17 up to 21. Westbound 84 in Cheshire is tied up from the 691 interchange up to 25 in Waterbury. 84 eastbound in Danbury, tight New York, Connecticut line to 5. Again, slowing from exit 9 up to exit 11 in Newtown. Southbound Parkway delays 62 into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 southbound delays 46 to 43 in West Haven. And 91 southbound look for delays from exit 7 down in toward the 95 interchange. Shop money-saving app deals at Stu Leonard's Farm Fresh Foods this week. Cold water 4-ounce lobster tails are only $5.99 each. You save $4 plus. Freshly ground beef chuck only $2.99 per pound. You save $1 a pound. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
And now, a WTIC news update.
5:31. Good evening. I'm John Silva. We'll have partly cloudy skies. Low in the low 30s tonight. The clouds increase tomorrow. It's cooler and some rain develops once again later on in the afternoon. Temperatures topping out in the mid-40s. 52 right now in Hartford. State police say they learned recently about a non-specific threat in New Hartford. It's not directed at any specific location in town, but troopers say it did reference Thursday, December 19th, as the date of a potential incident. State police, out of an abundance of caution, say they plan to ramp up their presence at schools there on Thursday. Investigators in Wisconsin still trying to determine a motive in that school shooting that left a teacher and a student dead and 2 other children in critical condition. The chief of Madison, Wisconsin Police, Sean Barnes, says it appears to be a combination of factors. He's urging anyone who knew the 15-year-old female shooter's feelings to reach out. She took her own life at that shooting Monday at Abundant Life Christian Church. Suspect in the killing of the United Healthcare CEO, now facing 11 counts in New York, including multiple first and second-degree murder charges. Luigi Mangione is still being held in Pennsylvania on unrelated charges. He's awaiting extradition back to New York, but is fighting that. Man accused of killing his cousin was in court today in Hartford. Saulo Soto-Veliz is charged in the death of Edgar Martinez just days from his 19th birthday. Victim's body was found dumped on a Hartford street last month. Number of vehicles reported vandalized at the University of Bridgeport. 5 had their windows smashed in around 7:30 this morning. Bridgeport police and UB officials are investigating. Dow down 267 points today on Wall Street. The market's down overall. The NASDAQ lost 64 and the S&P was off 23 points. Women's college basketball tonight. It's Iowa State at number 4 UConn, actually down at Mohegan Sun, 8:30 the tip there. Nothing doing locally in the NBA tonight. NHL, the Bruins in Calgary, Rangers skate in Nashville, and the Isles travel to Carolina. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
It's Alice Shattuck, and I have something to tell you that they don't want you to know. You don't need to be reliant on the big pharma companies and government bureaucrats telling you what to do to lose that extra weight and stay at a healthy body composition for the rest of your life. Awaken 180 Weight Loss is not a diet or a drug. It's a science-based, personalized coaching program that's uniquely customized to your body and lifestyle to ensure you directly burn body fat while not missing out on living your life. I make myself delicious, healthy food, like my favorite taco omelet, Asian beef lettuce wraps, buttery garlic salmon. I eat out with friends and family and even enjoy a night out on the town. I used to always try to lose weight, but I was lost between government dietary guidelines and fat advice on the internet. Awaken 180 works for me. It will work for you too. At Awaken 180, the coaches teach you how to eat for life to maintain your ideal weight. And after completing the program, you receive free maintenance coaching forever. Book your first appointment by calling 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Prescriptions required with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Can't get to a WTIC holiday store? Donate from your phone. Text WTIC to 31333.
I find it interesting, Reese on the radio, by the way, NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. I find it incredibly interesting that there was a lot of talk about getting Liz Cheney a preemptive pardon. And now Benny Johnson has gone so far as to say that he would welcome a pardon from Joe Biden. We have the audio now. I'm going to have it all tomorrow because I had it actually. We were going to talk about this, if not, I want to say last week, if not in the beginning of the week. I grabbed this audio. It's really, really, I was like, when I heard it from Benny Johnson, of all people, he was one of the chairs of the January 6th committee. And when Jim Acosta of CNN asked him, would you take a preemptive pardon? He was like, if the president were to do that, absolutely. I'm like, whoa, homeboy. What are we talking about here? And so now we have this story coming out of the Hill. Headline, GOP report recommends Liz Cheney to be criminally investigated over January 6th work. And this is in relation to a testimony that was very famous. And that was the testimony of a Donald Trump, I guess, secretary that was there, who suggested that Donald Trump tried to commandeer the wheel of the presidential limousine from a Secret Service agent. Grabbed a Secret Service agent by the throat and tried to commandeer the vehicle. It's testimony that everyone was talking about. And now we have evidence that suggests that it was Liz Cheney who coordinated that testimony. And we'll have all of that tomorrow. So this January 6th thing that they wouldn't let go of. They wouldn't let go of it. And people would say it was like January 6th. Aren't you getting tired of having to answer January 6th? Nope. I told y'all, wasn't I the one who told you? I said, keep bringing it up. I said, no, please, keep bringing. Nobody over here is ashamed of January 6th. Keep bringing it up. I told everybody, relax. They're gonna hate themselves afterwards. Oh, and the reckoning is coming. God bless him. God bless him. It's fantastic. I couldn't tell you how happy I am. We'll take your phone calls when we get back. So stick around. 860-522-WTIC. Now let's get another check of our traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon. This traffic report being brought to you by Holiday Cirque Sugar Plum Fantasy. For tickets, visit hartfordsymphony.org. If you are traveling on the northbound side of I-91, you're going to see slow traffic now as you move up by exit 24 up to 2526 in Wethersfield for the Putnam Bridge, and then it delays again from 29A up to between exit 33 and 34. We have an accident there. Only the left lane and the HOV lane getting by right now, so stay way left there. Southbound 91 into Hartford delays 34 down to 32A and B. Then another slowdown from 27 down to 28. You'll see more slow traffic as you move from exit 23 down to 22 in Cromwell, and more delays again from 21 in Cromwell all the way down to 19 in Meriden. Northbound 91, some slow traffic 24 up to 25-26. Putnam Bridge 3 northbound is heavy from I-91 over to the Route 2 ramps in Glastonbury. 3 southbound slowing from the Glastonbury exit down to 91 south and northbound in Wethersfield. Now, if you are traveling on the eastbound side of 84, look for delays about a half mile before 46th Avenue into the tunnel. Westbound 84 is tied up from 56 Governor Street out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. We have an accident involving a tractor-trailer between exit 48 and 47. That is in the left shoulder, so look out for that. 291 eastbound's a little slow getting over the Bissell Bridge over to exit 4. In South Windsor, 2 eastbound's heavy I-84 out to 5C. If you are traveling toward Middletown, 9 northbound, 9 southbound, a little tight approaching the Aragoni Bridge. If you're traveling 9 northbound in Berlin, delays 31 to 34 in New Britain. Westbound side of 84 in Cheshire, slows approaching 26 up to exit 23. And again, as you move up on the Mixmaster, 84 eastbound delays 17 to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. 84 eastbound Danbury delays New York, Connecticut line out to 5. Again from exit 8 in Danbury out to exit 11 in Newtown. Southbound Parkway delays 60 into the West Rock. 95 southbound New Haven slowing 46 to 43. And 91 southbound in New Haven slows from exit 4 down in toward the 95 interchange. New for 2024, the Hartford Symphony present Holiday Cirque Sugar Plum Fantasy. Experience Nutcracker favorites with awe-inspiring aerialist and gymnast. Don't miss this holiday extravaganza with a Nutcracker twist. Visit hartfordsymphony.org for tickets. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, after a pleasant day, it's all cooler through the rest of the week. Partly cloudy, chilly tonight, the low down to 33. On our Wednesday, it'll be increasingly cloudy with a little rain late in the afternoon, so could be some issues with the evening commute and the evening travel. The high 48. Periods of rain end after midnight. Then on Thursday, it'll be breezy with a mix of clouds and sun. The high 43 with gusty northwest winds. It's going to feel like it's well down in the 30s at best much of the day. Friday, cloudy, a snow shower around, the high of 34. Now, could be a period of steadier snow during the evening and after dark, leading to some slow and slick travel. Then as we head through Saturday, variably cloudy, breezy, some flurries possible. Bundle up, the high of 30, but north-northwest winds 10 to 20 throughout the day. Going to make it feel like it's in teens and 20s. Then very cold on Sunday as well. Still breezy, the high only 22. Will feel like single digits and teens at times with the gusty winds still going on. Currently, New Haven at 48. New London also 48. It's 52 in Mansfield and 54 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking. Guaranteed. Early bird special $49.99. Seminars Thursday, January 9th, Hilton Garden Inn, Hartford, South Glastonbury. In Glastonbury. Weight loss seminar 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 p.m. Or Saturday, January 11th, Holiday Inn Express, Southington. Weight loss seminar 11 a.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 p.m.
This holiday season, save $30 on the GTA 26 handheld garden pruner. Now just $149.99. Visit your local Steel dealer today or shop online at steelusa.com. Offer valid for a limited time. Only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Men, we hear it all the time. A man comes in to get his erectile dysfunction treated, and very soon thereafter, he tells us that his relationship has come back to life. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and you should know that ED doesn't affect just you. It also often affects your partner. They can feel undesired, unwanted. They may even feel like you don't love them anymore. At Northeast Men's Health, we've successfully treated thousands of men for ED with protocols that have success rates well over 90%. which means if you're like most men, we can get you back to the guy you used to be. You could even last up to an hour or more and find you're performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and give your partner the gift of renewed love. Your first visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Permenic restorative health practice.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS.
Whoa, a minute.
Afraid to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is.
You know who it is. It's Reese on the radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
We are almost out of here. And I'm actually, someone just sent me a text message asking where can they find the manifesto. Well, of course, the only place you can go is ReeseOnTheRadio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. I have it posted, in fact, at the end of the show. When we get out of here, I'll post it. In fact, I'm literally in the middle of putting the photos up so you can actually click onto them, and you'll see there the headline will read the manifesto, so you can see it for yourself. And I'll have them up there. Give it at least, like, I just want to say 610 is the latest if you want to check into that. Let's go to the phones. Let's hurry up. Jeff's in Marlboro. How you doing, Jeff?
Hey, Reese. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, sir. What you got?
Yeah, I just got a couple questions for you. You used a couple of terms I didn't quite understand. I don't know if they came from I don't know if they came from the manifesto or from you, but 2 of them, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, navel gazers. I can only guess what that means. I do have a guess.
Okay.
That's someone who the other word would be used to describe someone in the 1950s who was very happy.
No. Okay, so it's interesting. Listen. I don't have to say it again. Everybody knows that I'm a Rush baby in the sense of Rush taught me how to do this to do this job as a radio host. So he was the first person I'd ever heard use that term. Navel gazers is exactly what you would think it is. A person who is looking down at their own navel and going, like, oh, look how interesting I am. So navel gazing, in essence, just more interested in their own self-importance, so to speak. That's the terminology.
Okay.
So he was the first person I'd ever heard use that, and I thought it was such a great term that I've incorporated into my lexicon. So, yes, navel gazers means that.
I think it works for my definition, too. So.
Pretty much. What was the second one?
You said, I believe, unless I heard you wrong, the W word?
Yes, and let's say a lady of the night.
Oh, okay.
The oldest profession. So,
okay,
and I don't want the brass to turn around and say you can't say that word because we can't use the B word either. So I don't want to use that word. It's a family show, and it's like I'm trying to use socially acceptable language. That's all.
All right, I got you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you, sir. Let's go you got it. Let's go to let's go to Rob. Rob's in Middlefield. How you doing, sir?
Hey, good. How you doing, Reese?
I'm all right, sir.
Hey,
What's
look,
up?
I can't wait for a wacky Wednesday. I got to say it now. I'm out here. I'm outside in my car, drinking a cup of coffee, watching the drones go by, about 5 of them, and just picking them apart, saying, "Oh, there's one over there, and there's one over here." One of those things.
You
Now,
know
the
what makes?
latest I heard.
Let me
Yeah, go
tell you
ahead.
this, Joe. Bob. I'm sorry, but what makes me laugh is there's this meme that they're posting on Instagram and on Facebook, and it's that scene with Ray Liotta's Henry Hill character from Goodfellas at the end of the movie when he's looking up at the helicopters, and the meme says,
Exactly.
"Everybody in New Jersey right now."
Exactly. Well, they had a Simpsons one there.
Yeah.
Where they showed, they were looking out and they said, New Jersey.
Yeah.
They showed all these drones hanging over it. Unbelievable. But anyway, make a long story short, I'm the person that says, look, these drones are harmless. If it's the Galactic Federation coming down, God bless them. Astronaut Command. Let's face
Galactic
it.
Federation.
I can go into this wacky Wednesday like you wouldn't believe. I'm the guy that told you about that moon. That's
I know.
an Anunnaki warship. Remember the Starship? Yeah.
Yeah, listen,
Yep.
I'm telling you, I believe now there's a New Jersey mayor who's saying that at the dock they lost radioactive material, and they believe that someone said that when it arrived at the dock, that the radioactive material was not in the container that it was supposed to be. So they believe it was stolen. Now, the thing that doesn't make sense to me is, one, if it was stolen off the ship before it arrived, why are you looking internally in the country for it? That doesn't make sense either. But that's one of the new theories that are going out there. There's radioactive material, and the drones are out searching for it with some sort of gamma detection device. So who knows at this point?
Well, the worst case scenario is for the government to say, hey, you know what, guys? We have something to tell you. We're not alone.
Hey, I'm one of those people. If you listen to my
Yeah.
Sunday show, what did I say? I said on my Sunday show, three things are evident. One, I'm hoping it's aliens. Two, maybe it's an adversary. Maybe it's an adversarial, group of people. That's quite possible. Unfortunately, what are we going to find out? It's us, and they're too embarrassed to tell us what it's for. It's Occam's razor. That's all it is. The usual, the most reasonable answer is the answer. The government is doing something that they are too embarrassed to tell us they screwed up.
You know what? I've been seeing these things floating around for 4 or 5 years. God's honest truth. And you know what? I just kept it to myself. I said, you know what? I don't know if anybody else sees them, but they're stationary. They're right up there. God bless them,
Let me ask you this. If you had to percentage it, how many of them do you think are copycat at this point?
It's funny. About 4 or 5 years ago, you could hardly see them. You knew they weren't stars.
Yeah.
But they were coming closer and closer, and they were like coming in stages. So finally, I'm looking out tonight. I said, geez, they're even lower than I've ever seen them.
Mm-hmm.
And, they're all over. And, I can't understand how nobody can see them, and I can see them. This is crazy, it's almost like the Twilight Zone. Do.
So do you think? So you think a lot? Do you at least think that now that people are seeing them everywhere, that a good 50% of them are just copycat folks putting up their drones just so? Because they're saying that a lot of the reports that are coming in on the federal and state level are regular drones, or not even commercial drones. They're regular drones, or average people are just putting them up. Pretty much drawing the attention.
Have you ever heard anybody shoot at one of them and then it fell yet?
No, I haven't heard that yet. However, New Jersey, trust me, they are a sighting away from folks aiming to the skies, if you will.
Maybe they'll hit it with a golf ball, like Trump Doral. They'll knock it over.
Trump
It'll be
said,
like one of those memes.
Trump said he's not going to Bedminster because of it. Which I thought was pretty funny. Thank you, man. As always, I appreciate you. Adam's in East Hartford. How we doing, sir?
Hey, good afternoon, Reese on the radio, and always great to talk to you.
Thank you, sir. You too? What's going on?
I want to talk about the drones and about Putin and nuclear war. But first, the drones, the government, the Biden administration, and the Defense Department, John Kirby, they have to tell us what's going on. They need to tell us more,
Right. I couldn't agree more. I think that not only do they need to tell us more, I think they need to stop pretending that we don't see what we see, which is what Kirby pretty much said. He was like, maybe it won't be, maybe it's not the things that you think that they are.
Exactly. Now, the other thing, with nuclear war, I'm not really worried. I know they don't like Biden, pushing Putin, but remember, this world's going to end on God's timetable. He said he would destroy it by fire, but it'll be on his time. And number two, Putin, if he starts nuclear war, he won't be able to enjoy his $40 billion palace or his $40 billion yacht because nobody wins the nuclear war once to start shooting both sides.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure he wants to go out quick either,
I don't think so either. Look, self-preservation is a human thing. It's not regional, right? I know that there are some people out there who, and I even say that for our decorated and volunteer people of the armed services, even though they are the ones who will run towards the danger as opposed to running from it, I know that their intent is to, one, survive so they can take out the bad guy. So self-preservation is just something that's innate in all of us as human beings. I just don't think that, except for those radical fundamentalists who think that, life begins after their death. Those people are a little, beyond the pale, notwithstanding those individuals. But I don't think that Putin is of this ideology that says that his life is going to be better off, or his existence, for that matter, is destroying the world. I just don't believe in that.
Well, he doesn't want to mess around that bad.
Yeah, I agree.
But always a great show. I'll keep listening. Thanks.
Thank you. As always,
Have
a
a great
pleasure,
night.
sir. Much appreciated. You too. Have a great night. We're going to follow up on the Chris Murphy thing. I'm always paying very close attention to the Ukraine situation, only because I really do believe this is going to end a lot sooner than many people think. You have these skeptics in the news media who are talking about, no, Trump says he's going to end it. I don't think he can. This story in the I saw on X, as well as Drudge Report today. What is this? Ukraine kills senior Russian general in Moscow scooter bombing. And he is the chief of nuclear, biological, chemical weapons. And people are right now nervous about that, saying that there's going to be some sort of nuclear retaliation. It's a war. It's a war. It's like people treating this like it's, two people who are just taking out their senior officials, and one person is going to escalate it further than the other. Obviously don't understand how this stuff works. In a war, there are casualties. It's just the way that things go. But I'm keeping a close eye on it, as usual. Wow, Netanyahu's in Syria. That's going to be an interesting one too. Like I said, we got 30 days. All right, just a little more than 30 days. That's all. Just everybody take a breath. Remember, I told you guys to calm down. Was it 2 years ago? I said, everybody take a beat. You're going to be okay. You're going to be all right. All right? Every day is a blessed one. Just enjoy them. Every day is a blessed one. Just enjoy. Look, treat it. Don't treat it like it's your last. Just treat it like it's a blessed day. That's all. And we'll see you guys back here tomorrow. We'll do it all over again. Don't forget, tomorrow we're going to talk about this Liz Cheney thing. There's going to be a lot of talk about a preemptive pardon. That's all anyone's going to talk about. If not tonight, tomorrow. That's going to be a big deal. Should he do it? They'll start begging him. Did she sacrifice her freedom because she helped out Kamala Harris in the election? Joe Biden, the Cheneys laid down their life. Oh, I'm going to watch these people clutch their pearls. They're also upset about that. I was supposed to get into, I forgot about that too. I need to get into George Stephanopoulos. I got George Stephanopoulos audio I need to play. That's going to be good tomorrow. All right, so stay tuned for that. That's our last day tomorrow. Is going to be Wednesday. And then, of course, Pastor Will be here filling in for the holiday store. Make sure you donate. It's the season of giving, but then again, every day is an opportunity to give. All right, as I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the radio. You have a good night, pleasant tomorrow. Mark Christopher is in the BPS Traffic Center. Good night, Mark.
Hey, Reese, have a great night. This traffic report being brought to you by Goodwill, thanking
All right.
for their continued
All right, sir.
support.
One more day.
And if you're traveling on
All right.
Hartford, you're going to see
and
delays
then
from exit
we got another couple
33
of
down to
days next week,
32
don't
A
we?
and B.
I don't know.
After
So again,
Wednesday.
as you move down by exit 21 in Cromwell,
Is he
all the
doing
way
the
down to
23rd?
between exit 18 and 17.
I have no idea.
I think
we
he's
have a
doing the
crash taking out
23rd.
the right lane. Northbound 91
So
moving
tomorrow
well,
I may
Cromwell
have
to
to
downtown.
do
Once you
6
get
to 8
into
Blackwood.
the
Now that I
Hartford
think
area,
about
that
it.
delays from
I think
exit
he's filling in on the
29A
23rd. Hold on,
up
stay
to
on the line.
between
Let me
exit
check.
33 and 34. A crash there has everything closed down except for the left lane and the HOV lane, so stay left there to get around that. Westbound 84 delays approaching the Boakley Bridge.
Okay.
We have a crash involving a tractor
so
trailer
it'll be
between 48
Monday.
and 47. That's on the left shoulder.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
For eastbound
Okay,
slows
good
a
enough.
half mile
So,
before
yeah, he's only
46
doing
and Avenue
Friday
down to the
and-
Boakley Bridge.
Thursday and Friday.
You're slowing a little bit again out by 59.
Okay, good enough.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
91
Thank you, man.
westbound slowing approaching the Bill.
All right. Enjoy your weekend and your time off, man.
Windsor
Hey,
3
wait,
northbound's a
you-
little tight.
wait a minute, you
Putnam
going
Bridge up to
tomorrow?
the
You're not
Route
gonna
2
be here?
ramps in
Oh, yeah. I'm going to be here
Okay,
tomorrow.
all right, I'll see you
It's a
tomorrow.
little
then.
slow, Cromwell Middletown line down to the Aragoni Bridge. And again, 9 northbound, you'll see some slow traffic from 31 up to exit 32.
All right, everybody. God bless you. And thank you for tuning in. It's always a pleasure to have you here. And we'll see you tomorrow. 6 to 8 Blackman coming up on Monday, right? Is that Monday? You don't want to miss it. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a whole lot of fun. I hope none of you went out to go read it or listen to it because it is hilarious. It's one of my favorite Christmas stories ever. So I'm hoping that you guys will at least enjoy it with me and have a little sort of, story time with Reese on the radio. All right.